and he's done it. You just got to keep getting into Colin Murray Boyle's head and say, son, you're the best player on the team. Get more aggressive. We need you to be the best player on the team.
Yep.
You can't defer. Who are you deferring to? Help. I'd be looking at him going, help me out, Colin. Who are we deferring to?
Yep, I agree.
And so I think that's the thing where Colin Murray Boyles has got to kind of look for his shot or look to facilitate more. And Colin Murray Boyles is a turnover machine sometimes, to be fair. But he's your best offensive player. And do you where's the best place to get him the ball to make him the most effective?
Yeah, and I thought, at the end of last week's game, once they finally got him the ball down low near the basket, you saw him finally starting to score. It's like, okay, that's the place, and that's the frustration that so many people had with that game is like, why is he out there 30 feet away from the basket? We know he's can shoot threes at times, but that's not his bread and butter as of right now. Get him low, let him use his size and physicality to his advantage and score that way, which, again, we saw at the end of the game.
Right now, in the block where he can turn and shoot over his right shoulder because he's left-handed, and at the elbow where he can beat a slower big off the bounce. Those are the two places for him right now. He's the most comfortable, and he's the most effective. They were hoping he'd stretch his game out, Tyler, to shoot threes better.
Sure.
He's made some this year, but that really hasn't happened. He hasn't become a stretch four or whatever you want to call it. So that's another thing. If you're on offense, what do you do best? How do we maximize it and do it more? And look, I'm not trying to be mean. We talked a little bit yesterday. Yeah, I mean, Jamari Thomas is your second best offensive player. So obviously you have to incorporate him. But the third thing, look, I love Zach Davis's energy. I love the fact that he's an excellent defensive player. He slashes well without the ball in the basket, but he can't shoot 18 times a game. And for the love of God, quit dribbling. Just stop dribbling. And I don't even know if passing is his friend.
I was going to say the passing's not
the passing and dribbling is not his friend.
Which, if you're not doing those two things, you're having a tough time playing basketball.
Just cut to the basket and slash. Quit trying to be who you're not, because that's a problem too. And look, I give him credit. He's aggressive, Tyler.
Yep.
He's one of the few guys late in the game that truly says, "Hey, what the heck? I'll give it a whirl.
Why not?
Nobody else wants to. I'll give it a shot." And it's just so there's things that I sit back and watch, and Lamont at post game will answer some of those questions. So Lamont sees it, and there's reasons Lamont might not be doing what we're thinking as fans, or he says he tries it a little bit, or it goes through his head, but this team just isn't getting those things accomplished. And a lot of it too, I really believe a lot of this is from the neck up with this basketball team. So we'll hear some Lamont Paris from Carolina calls coming next. We're hanging here at Pro Swing. Again, 2 to 5 today, before 1 tomorrow. You want to get in. Those are the time slots to be part of the inaugural Pro Swing 107.5 The Game Winter Golf Classic here at Pro Swing in Columbia on Forest Drive. Terry Ford, Tyler Head, Lamont Paris from Carolina calls next, right here on the Halftime Show on The Game.
The Game Network in Columbia.
107.5 The Game.
In Florence.
100.5 The Game.
In Myrtle Beach.
100.3 The Game.
Here's what's coming up on The Game.
The Schroeder's Towing Roadshow rolls on to Pro Swing Golf, 4708 Forest Drive in Columbia, this Thursday and Friday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Broadcasting live from the first annual Pro Swing Golf Classic.
Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
107.5 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Take up to $20K off new Silverados.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. Together, let's drive. What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
Now's the time for incredible New Year's savings on the entire lineup of award-winning Chevy vehicles. I-26 at Harvest and LoveChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Save big with sweet deals. Get a $1,000 gift certificate from the Tile Shop for only $500 or $250 gift certificate from Crystal Clean for only $125. Log on to 1075thegame.com, click on sweet deals and save.
Hello, my friends. It's Elijah Campbell from 1075 The Game, and I'm sure you've heard there's a pretty big football game coming up in a couple of weeks, and along with all the delicious chicken wings, pizza, and buffalo chicken dip that you'll enjoy to watch said big game, there's one thing you should add to your itinerary: Prize Picks, because they'll help you enjoy this game like never before. And I know I will be all in on the Prize Picks app to watch this big football game. This week will be one of 7 days of Picksmas once again, where Prize Picks is giving you a shot at $1 million, along with, of course, their normal daily rewards for just playing. Prize Picks is simple. Just pick more or less on at least 2 players and their stat projections from different teams, and you can win up to 100 times your cash. Sounds awesome, right? Just download the app today, and Prize Picks will give you $50 when you play your first $5 lineup. All you got to do is just use promo code 1075GAME, and of course, $50 for your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
What's up, Gamecocks? Ben Cato, third-generation owner of Cato's Power Equipment. We have an exciting new solution for those of you who have retention ponds, large hills, or overgrown land that needs clearing. Now available at Cato's Power Equipment, the all-new Gravely Ovis RC40 is a remote control, track-driven flail mower with a uniquely low center of gravity that makes easy work of hillsides and large brush. Whether you're interested in renting or purchasing, come schedule your free demo today at Cato's Power Equipment.
Wow, 2024 flew by, but I am sure ready for 2025. My favorite way to start the new year is to make my home feel like new with Zerorez Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. Only Zerorez uses their advanced patented process with ZR Water for a superior, long-lasting clean. Right now, get 3 rooms cleaned for only $119 plus. Mention me, Bill Gunner, at 1075 The Game, and you'll get a hallway cleaned for free. Easily schedule your cleaning online at ZerorezColumbia.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Messaging data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
Honey!
What's wrong? I thought you already left for work.
The garage door is broken. It won't open and I can't get my car out. I can't miss this meeting today. Everyone is coming in for it.
Relax. I'm texting OGD right now.
What is OGD?
OGD, Overhead Garage Door. They're the garage door experts in Columbia. Take my car in the driveway and OGD will handle the garage. They have same-day service and they'll get the garage door fixed today. Fast and easy.
Wait, with just one text, you can get our garage door fixed same day by OGD?
Yes, OGD will get it done, no problem. Now, you need to get to work and let OGD worry about the garage door.
Garage door broken, stuck, slow, or squeaky? Text OGD, the only name you need for your garage door. Text TIGHT to 200-300 right now. Text right now and get an exclusive link to special limited time savings. Don't wait. Text the word TIGHT to 200-300 now. Text TIGHT to 200-300.
Getting you caught up on the national champion Gamecocks.
On the dribble drive this time, floats it up and in. And the Gamecocks have their first double-digit lead.
Here's a Hoops Update, sponsored by Lexington Discount Homes. Experience matters. Check out Lexington Discount Homes on Augusta Highway in Lexington.
All right, the Gamecock women will get back at it on Sunday. A'ja Wilson's jersey will be retired.
Yep.
Finally not playing a ranked team.
For the first time in like 3 weeks, which is nice. They finally got a couple days off after the quick turnaround against Tennessee, which I think we saw late Monday. I think that fatigue started to set in a little bit in that last quarter, and Tennessee made their little comeback, which Carolina held off, obviously. But I think these this extra 5 days, 6 days worth of rest was very welcome.
Yeah, they needed it. They're and again, Tennessee's playing fast pace. They want to run up and down the court and
chuck threes.
Yeah, and so again, if you're South Carolina, it's like, God,
jeez,
we've got tired. Oh my God,
get us to all zeros.
Everybody's looking up at those guys. Everybody's looking at the scoreboard, going, man, let's get that thing to zero. So I gotta go lay down. Oh my God. So we will see South Carolina, 11:30 pregame, noon tip against Auburn at CLA. A'ja Wilson's jersey will be retired. And now South Carolina gets a little bit, they're not playing the caliber of teams they have been playing. They'll get a little bit of an easier road temporarily before you kick back into some more difficult games.
You got a road game against Texas coming up. And again, Carolina handled their business a couple weeks ago, but going on the road anywhere is obviously going to be a challenge. 2 weeks from Sunday, you have UConn coming to town for the annual game. That's obviously going to be a challenge, and you got a fully healthy UConn team this year compared to the one you played last year. So that's always going to be difficult.
And UConn's
there.
lost one game?
Yeah, something like that. So they're being UConn as they typically are being. So you still got some challenges coming, but the onslaught of one ranked team after another has finally come to an end. So
nobody played the gauntlet that the women have played in the country. To be fair,
nobody played the non-conference schedule that this women's team played in the country, which is why they do that. Because if you can, again, they got the loss out of the way against UCLA. If you can figure yourself out in November, December, when you have those challenges in January and February, you're good.
I mean, you went to Westwood and played UCLA, in their dojo. So you went and played a really good basketball team on their home court early in the year when you still didn't, have yourself together.
They're the best team in the country right now,
undefeated.
At least to this point until they get a rematch. So it's not like they're a bunch of schlubs that beat you.
Nope. UCLA's good, man. So the women, again, that will be Sunday, 11:30. Pre-game noon tip. You can hear it right here on 107.5 The Game in Columbia. All right, for the men, Lamont Paris on Carolina calls last night. Let's get to this one, Dave. Talking about the young guys and their decision making, whether it's Conyers, Scott, the younger guys on this team, and their decision-making process with the ball. Again, cut 9, Dave.
I think he will be a beneficiary of some of the changes that we're going to make. I think Morris Ugasuk will be a beneficiary of some of the changes we're going to make. Those guys, at the end of the day, I don't think they're quite ready to make some of these decisions live at full speed against the pressure that they're going to get in the SEC. That doesn't mean those guys can't play. It doesn't mean they can't make shots. It doesn't mean they can't be the finisher of plays. I think it's harder if they've got if they've got 10 different decisions that they may be able to make.
Yeah.
I think we got to pare it down, and the decisions got to be shoot or pass, right? Like pretty much simple 2 decisions versus there's a screening action. Is he going to backdoor? Is this guy going to pop? Is the popper open or is the cutter open? Like just too many decisions for some of these guys, and we're going to try to simplify what we're doing from an offensive standpoint.
Now, remember, we talked about this yesterday, and obviously Lamont hurt us. Now, we talked about this yesterday. Lamont, remember, post-game after the loss to Georgia in Athens, Lamont was like, I'm not dummying this down.
Yeah.
Because Lamont's like, I'm running. This is what I believe we need to be doing to be successful. And in the long term, we will be. These dudes have to catch up, right?
Yep.
So then Lamont probably sitting around watching some film, thinking, listening to you and I, because why wouldn't he take our advice?
Hey, at this point, what could it hurt?
Ready? Okay, so I was getting a coffee, and the barista said to me, I'm going to employ that the action the barista said to me.
Maybe he should let us coach a half. Yeah, just see how it goes.
It wouldn't make it a half. He'd be like, okay, guys, that's enough.
You want to talk about getting a 0 on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
That's the way to get a 0
He's
on the
like,
scoreboard.
okay, we got to the first TV timeout. Thanks for everything.
What if we put a 6th man on the court? Just thinking. Nobody will know. Nobody will know.
We'll sneak them on, take them off. Sneak them on, take them off. So Lamont decided, I'm going to simplify this thing. These guys, obviously, we need to simplify what we're doing. We need to streamline it. We got to make it, to where these younger guys have less decisions or less things running through their head.
Yep.
Right now, Lamont's thinking maybe we're paralysis by analysis, so to speak. This is the same thing we talked about a few years ago when Marcus Satterfield was the offensive coordinator during Spencer Rattler's first year. And it's like, you don't need, and Jay and I always joked about the big Denny's menu. You don't need to be serving steak at Denny's.
Every play calls an encyclopedia.
Exactly. It's just make it simple. Play, meet, don't think. Too much thinking is not good. You got to play. You got to react. And if you're sitting out there thinking, because, okay, we're setting a high ball screen. Okay, here's the action off the high ball screen. Who's cutting? Who's doing this? Who's doing that? Is the guy setting the pick popping? Is he rolling? How are you reacting to all this? Oh my God, head explode.
A lot of basketball hands.
Yeah, and so simplifying it, streamlining it, whatever you want to call it, just so these guys can play freer, think less, and just do more.
Yep.
So I think again, to me, that's the way you got to go. And every team's different. Last year's team, he didn't have to do that, right?
Yep.
A lot of veterans, a lot of dudes who knew what was up.
And again, I hate to say you're punting on the season, but you kind of are. So when you're looking at Conyers, when you're looking at Cam Scott, when you're looking at these younger guys that you're anticipating to be your future over these next couple of years, see what they got. Put them in uncomfortable positions, force them to go out there, play more, get them more minutes. Because again, you're not really playing for much this year in these final 10 games of the regular season. So get sense of what you got. So you know what you need in the transfer portal. You know what you need to do with your guys coming in the new recruiting class. So you can make 2025, 2026 better than this year was.
And the other point is, when Lamont was saying, I don't know if they're ready. Well, I mean, I get it. But, at some point, and I understand everybody gets ready in different waves and levels and phases, right? Some guys are ready from the get-go. Some guys need time.
Yep.
You're over halfway through the basketball season. Even if it's in short spurts, X amount of minutes at a time, whatever, it's time to get them on the court.
Yep.
The way this year is going, you can get them valuable experience like a Cam Scott, Arden Conyers. These guys can get running experience that can only help them moving forward.
Yeah.
All right, here's another cut from Lamont real quick. Let's go to cut 5, Dave. We were talking about the 1-3-1 zone with Zach Davis at the point of it. This defense has been very good for the Gamecocks the last 2 years when they've used it. Here's Lamont talking about that 1-3-1.
So that's a great question and a great observation, which doesn't surprise me. But we talked today about the fact that, we got to – Mike White's a great coach, right? He's a great coach. He's done a lot of good things in this league at multiple schools. He's rebuilt Georgia. He was at Florida, did all that stuff. Okay. We won that game last year because of the 1-3-1. Clearly, they spent a lot of time working on 1-3-1 attack. And I really like the possessions that we had in the 1-3-1 again. We had 2 turnovers that we forced, right? One of them ended up with Asa Newell shooting a last-second shot, and it was not part of the plan.
Right.
The 1-3-1 is just something that normally people don't have a great attack. They just normally don't. 2-3, it's easier to teach. It's easier to attack, right? So that for sure, we're going to mix it up and get some 1-3-1 in there without a question. But we've also considered, a little bit more pressure at times just to get things moving in our direction.
So again, that 1-3-1 worked last year against Georgia, worked at times last year when it's been used, it's been successful. And I know Lamont loves man-to-man.
Yep.
I get it. I understand it. That's his bread and butter. That's where he cut his bones. That's the defense he believes he should run to be successful. But again, if a 1-3-1 with a guy like Zach Davis with long arms at 6'7", a disruptive dude on the point of that 1-3-1, then use it.
Yep.
I'm not saying use it for 40 minutes, but break that thing out during games just to change tempo or change. Maybe an offense is cooking on you.
Mm-hmm.
Go 1-3-1 just to kind of discombobulate the offense.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Strip them up a little bit. Again, I could keep going back to what have you got to lose at this point?
You don't.
Nothing.
You don't. Nothing but that 0 in the win column.
Exactly. Oh, it can get worse, and it really can.
Right. Hey, tomorrow, 8 o'clock pregame, 8:30 tip on 107.5 The Game in Columbia and 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. Carolina men's basketball, Gamecocks hosting Texas A&M again, 8 o'clock pre, 8:30 tip. Another game against another ranked team. Welcome to life in the SEC. Maybe you just woke up. We're going to tell you what's been going on in the world of sports. Very interesting Heisman Trophy favorite.
Shocker.
Has hit. Nobody saw this coming. And Justin Tucker responds to the allegations put forth against the Ravens kicker. That's next on the halftime show. Terry Ford, Tyler Head, hanging a pro swing, Forest Drive in Columbia. Till 3 on the game.
From the Midlands to the PD to the beach.
The Game Network.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV.
Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality.
The Game TV.
Get a free second pair of glasses with insurance at iMart Express. Now with an upgraded selection of over 150 frames to choose from. Pick one for when you're busy doing nothing, and one for when you're up for anything. Plus, with free same-day speed, go from booking an eye exam to walking out with new glasses in a blink. So you can take your vision benefits further, faster. iMart Express. Get glasses? Go see.
Palmetto Citizens Federal Credit Union presents scenes from Palmetto Citizens job interviews.
Tell me, Emily, what makes you the right fit for our vice president of Getting Pumped role?
Well, I have 8 years of banking experience, and helping people get great rates makes me super excited.
Oh, can you elaborate?
Yeah, sometimes it's like a woo. Other times it's more of a oh, yeah!
Wow. Just wow.
Palmetto Citizens. Feel the love. Federally insured by NCUA.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet. Drive into 25 in the Chevy of your dreams. I-26 at Harbison and lovechevy.com. Together, let's drive.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
TEC Equipment Rental is proud to be your certified local Takeuchi dealer in West Columbia, Orangeburg, and Somerville. Takeuchi has long been a world leader in the compact construction industry, and now with 0% financing available on all machines, let TEC Equipment Rental help you find the right machine for the job. Their full line of excavators, track and wheel loaders, as well as attachments, are designed for low maintenance and high productivity. Stop in today for a demo or visit online at tecrental.com.
What's up, Gamecocks? Ben Cato, third generation owner of Cato's Power Equipment. We have an exciting new solution for those of you who have retention ponds, large hills, or overgrown land that needs clearing. Now available at Cato's Power Equipment, the all-new Gravely Ovis RC40 is a remote control, track-driven flail mower with a uniquely low center of gravity that makes easy work of hillsides and large brush. Whether you're interested in renting or purchasing, come schedule your free demo today at Cato's Power Equipment.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Are you ready for football?
Let's go.
Truly ready for football?
Yes.
Are you screaming for football?
What the hell is happening?
Dreaming for football.
Good times.
Eating, sleeping, crafting, parenting, naming your pets, and preparing for football.
That sort of stuff happened? Oh my goodness.
Are you dancing, jonesing, Mahomesing for football?
That's what I'm looking forward to seeing.
Good. Then you are ready for football. With the Rich Eisen Show podcast.
They're ready.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Just in case you just woke up, here's what's happening in the world of sports. Sponsored by The Gutterman.
Protect your biggest investment. Call The Gutterman at 803-791-7147.
Just in case you woke up and you're wondering what's going on in the world of sports, we'll get you caught up here. Sponsored by The Gutterman, right here on The Game in Columbia, Florence, Myrtle Beach. We are hanging live in Columbia at Pro Swing on Forest Drive. We are here all day today. Our inaugural, I know Jeannie's here, inaugural.
I've been saying it right all day.
Pro Swing 107.5
Jeannie
The Game.
Threatened to hurt me if I didn't.
And she could hurt you. She's quite intimidating. Our Winter Golf Classic going on today. Again, there are spots between 2 and 5 today, and there are spots before 1 tomorrow if you still want to get in the tournament. 8 under is the leader in the clubhouse right now.
It's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
Though if you hit a hole in one. That knocks off a few numbers there.
I can help you out. And there was a hole in one during that cruise round of 8 under.
They might be hard to beat.
That's
If,
gonna be
if they're
tough.
hitting hole in one and leading the charge,
Mhm.
yeah, that's going to be a hard number to beat.
And $1,000 for first place, $750 second place, $500 for third place. So we're still going on here, Pro Swing today and tomorrow. We'll be here today, and then the tournament has one more day tomorrow as well.
Have you taken any shots today, by the way?
No, I have not.
No.
Oh, I have taken shot.
Well,
are we talking about
I-
golf?
I didn't mean that way. You know,
I
what
mean, I've
meant.
taken shots. I mean, there's
The
liquor
golf
in my
swings,
office for a reason.
The golf swing.
No, I have not. You know, I'm just not. I'm not a golfer, right?
Yeah.
I'm just not.
Well, you can learn here.
You know what I do? I know you could take
Yeah.
lessons. What I do is I swing a golf club like a baseball bat.
Sure. Like
That's what I
you're
do.
Happy Gilmore. Is what you
Yes.
are.
Oh, I do. When I ever played golf, I played golf maybe 10 times in my life with my friends.
How hard can I hit this ball, and how far will it go?
I do. I step in and swing just like Happy Gilmore. Because I off the tee, if I don't do that, it's I'm killing worms.
Yep.
Or I'm taking out windshields. So no, I'm not a golfer at this point in my life. I'm not saying it's a bad look. You
Well,
love golf. You love golf.
When you're ready to learn, they can teach you.
Yeah, I will go here and I'll get the pro. I'll go on the simulator and it'll teach me. I'm watching. You see the analytics where you get I'm watching. I look up and these guys. There's a replay of them swinging, and I'm like, yeah, this is
There you go.
this is good. No pressure as we watch someone take their swing. But yeah, I might take a cut or two before I leave today, just
All right.
for
Just
bleeps and giggles.
don't sweat
I
like
might-
Jay. That's all.
Sweaty Jay and Sweaty Josh. All right, to the surprise of no one, the odds for the 2025 Heisman Trophy winner have come out. And again, we know this. The odds coming out in January mean nothing. Even the odds before the season kicks off means nothing.
It's a chance for you to place a bet that could potentially win you a lot of money.
Because at the end of the day, there have been so many instances a Heisman Trophy winner came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Because everybody was betting on Devonta Smith or Robert Griffin III or Johnny Manziel.
Burrow wasn't even on like the top 20 in 19.
No. So we always have to take this stuff with a grain of salt. But because, we have to fill air and we like to talk about stuff, Arch Manning, to the surprise of no one, opens as the Heisman favorite. Ready? Plus 750 for
It's good odds.
Arch. He's pretty far and away the leader here. LSU quarterback Garrett Nussmeier is second at plus 800. The top five, and this is just interesting. And again, this is not just going because we watch Lenore Sellers all year. The top five, our boy Nico at Tennessee, who, by the way, got worse as the year went along.
Yeah.
He's sitting at third.
I would say he didn't quite live up to the billing.
No. Kate Klubnik at Clemson is fourth. Drew Aller, Penn State, is fifth.
Klubnik's numbers were better this year.
Yeah, he
made an
got better.
improvement. He made an improvement.
so did
I'll give him
Aller,
that.
to be
And
fair.
Aller definitely made an improvement. Andy Kolanicki coming over as the OC, helped him out in a lot of ways. And look, they got a lot coming back in 25. I think they're kind of in all in to win mode, and Drew Aller's going to be a big part of that.
And they brought in receivers through the portal. We'll see how it goes. But remember, the receiver thing was a thing.
Yeah, well, they weren't thrown to receivers.
Exactly.
Like,
And
you did have a generational type tight end. That helps.
and who's now going to go off to be a first-round pick in the NFL draft.
Yep.
So, I mean, Klubnik, they have some young receivers there at Clemson who there seems like there's some potential in the passing game. Klubnik did get better in year two under Garrett Riley. So, I get those, and plus they're experienced guys. Klubnik's been at Clemson for 10 years. Aller's been at Penn State for 15.
Yeah.
So I get it. But I'll be honest with you. Nico, I would put – look, I guess they're banking on year two as a starter for Nico. It's a very quarterback-friendly system, a very pass-game-friendly system with Josh Heupel.
Yep.
But, I mean, Nico got worse as the year went along. And if I am doing this where I'm putting together my odds,
yep,
I would put Klubnik and Aller both ahead of Nico. Because once everything got better – Nico got worse.
Yeah.
Nico at the end of the year was scared to throw the ball past 10 yards.
Yeah, well, gosh, they went through half the season not being able to score points in the first half.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So-
And look, he came in with all the hype, the $8 million and all that kind of stuff. And, sure, in the bowl game in his freshman year, he did what you expected him to do. But, yeah, once he started playing quality competition, his results did kind of waver, as opposed to a guy like Lenore Sellers, who we know hit his stride in those final 6 games, put up incredible numbers, touchdowns, game-winning plays all that kind of stuff. I do think, I know Nussmeyer's with LSU who didn't make the playoffs, but it's no coincidence that 4 of those top 5 guys are all on playoff teams from this past year. So I think that does help a little bit as well.
All right. Ravens kicker Justin Tucker says these allegations from these massage therapists that we talked about yesterday, these allegations are false. Now, again, what do you expect Justin Tucker to say?
Of course.
And his legal team. Now, the article posted from the Banner of a Baltimore newspaper on Thursday, and they say Tucker's conduct, according to the story in the Banner, caused some therapists to refuse to work with him again and resulted in 2 spas banning him from returning. The one thing we didn't get into yesterday, these allegations reportedly occurred between 2012 and 2016, Tucker's first 5 seasons in the league.
Yep.
So this is 2024, 8 years later. Now, I read somewhere where, and I don't know if this is true, the statute of allegations, the statute has run out.
Okay.
The statute of allegations has run out in 8 years. So if that is true, then this feels like it's going to the civil court.
Mm-hmm.
And then whenever we say civil court, what does that usually tell us?
They usually, looking for a payout or something to that degree. And again, we weren't there. We don't know who's telling the truth. We don't know who's lying. There are, questionable things on both sides here that, again, we'll see what kind of evidence can be unturned. Because again, you're talking about something that happened 8 years ago to over a decade ago. So I don't know what's at the disposal of being able to turn up, but I'll say we've seen situations where people have been chasing a payday and can lie about things. Not saying that's what's happening here, but we've seen it happen before. We've also seen literally in the NFL, another high-level player that's gotten in trouble for these same kind of things. So there's no telling what's true and what's not. Again, that's for the court system to decide, but nevertheless, regardless, a bad situation all around.
Yeah, the statute of limitations is what I was looking for.
Yeah.
So here's my thing. You're right. We don't know what happened, what didn't happen, what goes on. And I haven't read enough on this or found out enough on this to really get a vibe. But you have 6 therapists. That's 6 is more than 1 or 2 last time I checked.
That would lean you towards there being something there.
Okay, were they working at the same shops? Did they know each other? Is there any kind of relationship involved here to either A, they all said that happened to me too. Well, that happened to me too. I didn't know it happened to you. I didn't know it happened to you. Or to go down the dark road, are these people who knew each other to say, maybe we can make some dough?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Tucker says, quote, throughout my career as a professional athlete, I've always sought to conduct myself with the utmost professionalism. I have never before been accused of misconduct of any kind. I've never been accused of acting inappropriately in front of a massage therapist or during a massage therapy session or during other body work. In the past, Tucker said, in this post, Tucker said the article takes innocuous or ambiguous interactions and skews them so out of proportion they are no longer recognizable. This is desperate tabloid fodder. It could be. But again, we weren't there. And who knows what Tucker did or didn't do. So as this moves forward, we'll find out more.
Yep.
But right now you sit and you say, okay, you got 6 different people saying roughly the same things, and the things they're saying really aren't things you should be doing in these sessions.
Yeah.
So we'll see where it goes. But it was 8 years ago, and there's nothing about it since 2016.
Yeah.
I don't know if that should be taken into account. Look, if you did it, you did it. Doesn't matter if it was 2012, 2002, whatever the case. If you did do it, you did it, right?
Yeah, of course.
And I've always said this. Even if this is a money grab, let's say he did these things, and all of a sudden they come up in 2024, and these people are obviously seeing the Deshaun Watson thing. They see a settlement. Hey, let's go get our dough too.
Yep.
Here's the thing. If you didn't act a certain way, you wouldn't have put yourself in this situation at the end of the day. If he did. If he did.
Yeah. Again, we weren't there. We don't know. We'll see how the process plays out.
We'll see how it goes. That's Justin Tucker stepping up and saying that these accusations are false. Firehouse Sub text the hour 803-404-6100. That is next. 8 Under is the leader in the clubhouse here at the Pro Swing 107.5 The Game Winter Golf Classic. We'll come back, talk more about that here on the halftime show on The Game.
107.5 The Game.
In Columbia.
100.5 The Game.
In Florence.
100.3 The Game.
In Myrtle Beach. The Game Network.
Have you been wanting to play some golf while not freezing your tail off? How about playing 9 in perfect climate-controlled conditions where you can also win some dough? Well, sign up for the first annual Pro Swing Golf Classic. It's a 3-day event, January 30th through February 1st. $150 to register a 2-man team. Bookings are available 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Food from Bonefish Grill included. You can win $1,000 for first place, $750 for second, and $500 for third. Plus, we'll be drawing Gamecocks baseball tickets that someone could win by just registering. Call Pro Swing at 803-528-1617.
This is Maggie Gray with a Sports Minute. John Calipari returns to Kentucky on Saturday as the head coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks. Coach Cal spent 15 years in Lexington, winning 1 national championship, going to 4 Final Fours, and sending dozens of players to the NBA. Will the home crowd boo him? Most likely. But as time moves on, I have no doubt that Cal will be welcomed back with open arms. I'm Maggie Gray.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Correct. All sevens now. We got a $250,000 settlement for a client injured in a car accident when driver illegally turned in front of him.
Dial all sevens now.
The Nestapool Law Firm is not scared to go to court. We got a $2.5 million jury verdict for our client when the other driver failed to yield.
What do? Good heavens. Dial all seven.
To get your attorney, dial 800 all sevens now.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultrafine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Do you have a special needs child or an older adult in your home? The risk of them leaving the house unnoticed is real and terrifying, but you can protect your loved ones with Vivint Home Security. Right now, Vivint is offering a free doorbell camera with any new plan, plus free installation and low monthly monitoring plans. Call 800-953-6693. That's 800-953-6693. Monthly service agreement required for free installation.
We keep the clutter out of your gutter. Call on the gutter man.
The Guttermen have been providing top-notch service throughout the Midlands for over 47 years, building their business on relationships, not gimmicks. And you can call them locally, not a 1-800 number. Call them today at 791-7147 and look for the guys in the powder blue trucks.
We keep the clutter out of your gutter. Call on the gutter man.
The Halftime Show, sponsored by the Men's Clinic of South Carolina.
It's time for Text of the Hour on the Firehouse Subs text line on the Halftime Show.
On your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
And 100.5 The Game in Florence. And the 107.5 The Game app.
All right, time to check out our Firehouse Sub text the hour, 803-404-6100. What you got, man?
Nameless texter in reference to Arch Manning having the best Heisman odds. Is it that he's the best option for the Heisman, or the powers that be in college football want him to be the Heisman Trophy winner?
Yes, and yes.
Yeah, because again, this dude is a walking, talking brain. Did you see he signed a $6 million deal with Red Bull yesterday?
Yeah, we talked about that. He signed. I didn't know it was $6 million though.
Yeah, $6 million. Like, dude, this guy has barely taken a meaningful snap in his college career, and he's probably making more than what 90% of the players combined. It seems like.
Ready? Again, if he's Arch Head, Arch Ford.
He's not playing at Texas for one.
He's just, and it's Arch Manning. It's a perfect storm. He showed you enough in his limited time last year to where you're like, wow, this guy could be good, but you don't know. Look, he didn't put together a body of work last year that makes you say, wow, this cat should be the Heisman front runner.
Look, he played in place of Ewers when he was hurt. Did good. I mean, had some wow plays, but again, when you were going up against the Ohio States, the Georgias and stuff like that, the limited time that we saw him,
I mean, it wasn't like, wow. You see talent. You see the talent.
Sure, you see it there.
And there was times I thought, you see how talented Arch Manning is, and Quinn Ewers just, there's just not – Ewers had struggles at times throwing the ball down the field consistently. And you watch the Texas offense. There were times last year I sat and thought, I know you won't do it, Steve Sarkisian. I get it. But, man, maybe this offense would be better with Arch Manning and Manning can move.
And you know what? Maybe it will be. Maybe this is going to be the best offense we've seen in college football history. And we're talking about Arch Manning in 1 year as a starter being in that pantheon of legends of college football, but we don't know.
We don't know nothing.
It's speculation. And again, a lot of that is fueled by his legacy, his family name, and the fact that his uncles and his granddad are some of the best quarterbacks the NFL's ever seen.
It's like this, ready? Your last name's Manning. You can't suck.
No, you can't. And I also think about what if he was like 7 and said, Dad, I don't really like football. I want to be a dancer.
No,
no
like
son of mine's
football.
going to be a dancer.
You'll like football.
You're going to be a football player.
Take off those silly booties and go grab the football.
Mannings don't go on Broadway.
That's right. Mannings go to the Meadowlands.
That's right.
Unfortunately. So yeah, it's the Manning thing, and that's what pushes us over the top. Because even if strip away the last name, if you saw what you saw last year, and even if that quarterback was a 5-star coming out of high school, there's no way he's getting that hype.
No.
If his last name's not Manning.
You're thinking like, I see the upside potential. This guy could have a very good season in his first year as a starter, but he's not being penciled in as the top of the Heisman odds.
So, Texter, yes and yes.
Yeah.
You are correct. And college football would love for Arch Manning to win the Heisman Trophy.
1,000%. And, I feel like, because they're obviously retired now, anytime Peyton and Eli are at the game, it's going to be like the Taylor Swift camp. Show them over there in the suite, on the sidelines, wherever they're at. There's Uncle Peyton and Uncle Eli.
It would be like this. There's Grandpa Archie, Uncle Peyton, Uncle Eli. Who's the other guy sitting there with him?
Who's the guy with the big hat on? Oh, it's his dad.
Yeah, it's his dad. But anyway, back to Eli and Archie and Peyton. So that's what college football hopes. Because if you have Arch Manning as the face of your game for one season.
Oh. Is he on the cover of the football video game this fall?
Sure.
He's got to be, right?
Sure.
He's got to be.
Absolutely. He's going to be on the cover of the video game.
The game he didn't want to be a part of last year.
Exactly. So, yeah, yes, that's the thing about all this is the hype train. And trust me, you are going to get Arch Manninged out.
Oh, you're going to be sick of him.
You are. The hype. I saw someone say this, and I forget who it was. One of the college football talking heads said this could be Tebow-like.
I have that cut if you want to get to a little bit later.
We probably will play that cut. And I'll say this. This could be even bigger than Tebow.
If he lives up to it. If he lives up to it.
Well, again, I've always said this about Tim Tebow. Forget what he was an NFL quarterback. We get it. He wasn't an NFL quarterback. That's fine. That doesn't take away of what he did on the collegiate level as a quarterback. But people will always, as a pro. No. I'm talking about as a pro.
Listen. If you haven't looked at go look at his college numbers.
Yes.
And tell me your jaw's not going to hit the floor.
They're filthy. And again, the little moments like after the Ole Miss loss when he got up at that press conference, so this won't happen again.
The statement.
And guess what?
Yeah, it didn't happen again. They won the national championship.
This guy just had that in college, that it thing. that is rare to go with the numbers, and they put him in an offense that fit his skills.
Oh, yeah.
It was, I mean, 2 national championships, one as a backup, won a Heisman Trophy, all those numbers, the statement, it was almost a perfect college career.
Honestly, if he started over Leach in 06, they probably still could have got to the national championship, if we're being honest.
I mean, you just look at it and you go, it's like Christian Laettner in basketball.
Yep.
Christian Laettner might have been, when you take the combination of skill level, leadership ability, and team's achievement, in my lifetime, that was the best college basketball career ever.
And hateability from people not within that fan base.
Oh, I love that 30 for 30.
Yep.
About hating Christian Laettner. I look at it like, you know, Arch could be special.
Support Gamecock athletes there, get access to exclusive content, and help Run It Trust build the best NIL program in the country.
You got your hands Luke Bryan. Country Song Came On Tour. And then a country song Friday, July 18th. Credit One Stadium, Charleston. Luke Bryan with special guests George Burge, Avery Anna, Drake Milligan, and DJ Rock. Tickets are on sale now at LiveNation.com. Don't miss Luke Bryan, live, presented by Live Nation.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass.
Choose iMart Express and see the moment.
I saw my son grinning as he rounded third during his first home run.
My 4K TV finally looks it, just in time for the big game.
I could see my daughter smile through her veil as she walked down the aisle.
The Grand Canyon looks way bigger without the blurriness.
My toddler's new glasses let him meet his favorite Teddy all over again.
Get 2 pairs of single vision glasses starting under $40 or 2 pairs of progressives starting under $80 with free same-day speed. iMart Express. See the moment.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Hey, this is Jen Jensen for CHW Cabinetry. My family is using CHW Cabinetry, and they are fantastic to work with. They make sure you're satisfied with every step of the process. Not only do their photorealistic renderings show exactly what your new space will look like, their job site guarantees everyone is on the same page, literally. Experience the CHW difference for yourself. Go to chwcabinetry.com to see more or call them at 803-520-6837 and be sure to tell them Jen Jensen sent you. CHW Cabinetry, passion from inspiration to installation.
WNKT FM Eastover, Columbia, your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game, a Cumulus media station.
The Halftime Show, sponsored by the Men's Clinic of South Carolina.
Not feeling like yourself? Call the Men's Clinic at 803-875-MENS.
It's 1 o'clock. That means football. Football. And more football on the Halftime Show.
Is sponsored by Atlantic Window and Door. Go to awdsc.com.
On the Game Network and the 107.5 The Game app.
All right, we're rolling the halftime show live from Pro Swing in Columbia on Forest Drive. The inaugural 107.5 The Game Pro Swing Winter Golf Classic. 8 under is the leader right now in the clubhouse. You still have a little bit chance to catch the 8 under. There are openings still today from 2 to 5. Tomorrow before 1. So if you're like 8 under, I got some buds and I that can beat that. Well, you'll have between 2 and 5 today and before 1 tomorrow to see if you can beat the 8 under and win $1,000.
There you go. And again, just by registering, you got a shot at Gamecock baseball tickets as well. Yep. Season starting 2 weeks from today.
Yep. 803-528-1617. 803-528-1617. Again, 803-528-1617. That's a number here at Pro Swing in Columbia on Forest Drive. All righty. So we are in the 1 o'clock hour, which means football, and more football, and a lot of football. We got to start off with this Shrine game.
Yes.
Gamecocks look pretty good in the old Shrine game. Dave, we're going to go to a couple cuts here, my friend, so be ready. Be set. We're going to go start off with the big highlight. And that's cut 14, Dave. O'Donnell Fortune stepped up and made a big play. Cut 14.
That aren't even playing in this game.
Yeah, it's a little bit easier than that quarterback center mesh. There we go.
And we got an interception.
Oh, we got a pick six.
O'Donnell.
We got a pick six.
Into the end zone.
Oh, my man. Oh, my man.
Well, that will not go in the play-by-play Hall of Fame.
No, I think that was the D-level team doing the broadcast last night.
Wow.
But yeah, good for O'Donnell Fortune, pick 6 there. I know we've talked a lot about the Reese's Senior Bowl this week because it's kind of seen as the premier out of these all-star games after college. But you had him, you had Tonka, who we'll probably get to in a minute, Kai Kroger out there at this other game that has plenty of NFL scouts out there as well. Get play in Jerry World on the NFL Network that again can help elevate your stock heading into the draft.
Yeah, the Senior Bowl practices and the Senior Bowl are like the A level for your postseason actual on the field evaluation.
Yep.
For the draft. Shrine game, still you're playing against other higher level players, and O'Donnell Fortune. Look, you put a pick 6 on tape in a game like this against other good talent. Is it going to rocket you up the draft charts? No. But what it does show is you making a play, and however else he played in the game, could help his draft stock. You know, when we talk about the players getting drafted, we don't bring up Fortune. I mean, could he get drafted on the 3rd day? Yeah. Somebody could pick him on the 3rd day, sure.
Sure. He kind of falls in the middle there. Yeah, again, a lot of focuses on the guys going to be going in those first couple rounds with, Kennard and Eamon, potentially Sanders as well. But look, and I brought this up earlier to Wes and Chris, Carolina kind of has this legacy right now going of defensive backs making it into the NFL. J.C. Horn, Cam Smith, Marcellus Dye most recently last year. And O'Donnell Fortune looks like the next guy to add to that list. And God, how many interceptions and pick sixes to get called back this year on penalties that had nothing to do with him, where he made a great play, but somebody else on the defense screwed up or whatever it was. So he had a very solid close to his college career. And again, is thought to be one of those later round kind of guys that, we'll see how he tests at the combine. And, you think hopefully if he gets on a roster, he can find his footing there.
And Fortune played better this year than he did, in 2024, graded out well in Pro Football Focus. And, he also, look, let's be honest, he benefited from one of the best pass rushes in America.
Yep.
So we'll see how Donald Fortune does here in the silly season to help his draft stock. I do believe you'll hear his name come off the board in the 3rd day. Another guy whose name could come off the board on the 3rd day also played in this Shrine game. Give us cut 15, David Dare.
staff here for Williams and his guys. He said making sure these guys have a real key in on all the fundamentals.
One of our favorite names of the game, Tonka Hemingway, in for the sack.
Big Tonka. He got the name when he was a young kid because his dad said he looked like a big Tonka truck. So you're going to see him right down here. Boom. Getting after it. Okay. He's going to get in there, get vertical. That's one of the things. You don't want to go right down the middle of these offensive linemen. So you're seeing some of these interior defensive linemen really get skinny, pick one half of the body, beat that one half of
Okay. Tonka, look, I think he's another guy you'll hear his name on the third day. He's a tweener.
Yep.
He's a tweener. And some team will see the skill set that Tonka Hemingway does have. And when you're picking on that third day, that skill set, which you get him X amount of snaps a game, that you don't think, right? And this could change. Right now, I'm guessing the NFL looks at him as a guy that could be a rotational piece up front.
Sure.
They don't look at him as a guy that's going to go out there and play starter snaps because he's a tweener. Now, again, once he gets in the NFL, that tweener thing, could it change? He becomes more than that? Sure. Guys do it all the time.
Depends on the team, depends on the defense, the defensive coordinator. Like, it's all a lot of variables there. But again, when you have that skill set, when you have the build that he has and the athleticism that he has, if you can find your right sticking point, you hang around for a while.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about, TJ Sanders. TJ Sanders can rush the quarterback from the interior of the defensive line. That is a huge skill the NFL wants. And if TJ Sanders, that's all he can do in his career, he will have a nice, if he can stay relatively injury-free, he could have a nice long career being that guy you put in on pass rush situations from the inside who makes a quarterback's life miserable.
Yep.
So, but Tonka Hemingway, again, would not be surprised you hear his name on day 3 at all.
Absolutely.
All right. So that's what's going on with the Gamecocks. Obviously, we'll be seeing the other guys running around in the in the Senior Bowl.
Just one of them.
There's just it's Demon Warrior, right?
No, so
help me.
Knight is the only one playing tomorrow.
Okay.
Kennard and Sanders
They're doing the practice.
opted out. And look, the game itself is obviously important, but really the Senior Bowl is about those practices, the drills. Again, we saw Sanders blow up the guard from LSU the other day. He's probably already impressed scouts enough this week that, could going in the game and making a few more plays help? Sure. But I think both he and Kennard have already proven enough. And again, it's another chance for you to get injured that you obviously don't want to take. So we don't usually hear about guys opting out, but both those guys did decide to forego the game tomorrow.
And look, they probably feel they did enough in the practices during the week. They don't have to go out and play in the game. Again, these things don't make or break you. They can help you, though, because you're going up against other high-level players. And if in that week, like when you see Sanders blowing up the guard from LSU, and if he played sort of like that through the week of practice, then you go like this. Probably a good idea, just sit this baby out. You don't want to get hurt. You've shown what you can do during the week. And, maybe Kyle Kennard's done that as well. And the old idea, look, I'm not going to say this is the way it goes all the time. But the thought process used to be, well, you're opted out in the bowl game. You turn your back on your teammates. Are you a good team player? Are you a team guy? Are you an I guy, a me guy? You're not a team guy? We've changed that mindset a lot now. Because now we go like this. Oh, he's opting out. He's opting out of the Jimmy Kimmel Bowl because he doesn't want to get hurt, and he's possibly going to be a first-round pick.
Sure.
So we've changed our thought process.
Yeah.
And again, the Jalen Smith injury also front and center shows you what can happen.
And look, Eamon Orey's not going to drop to the third round because he didn't play the second half of the Citrus Bowl. As upset as people here locally are, and I get it, and you're not wrong for feeling that way, that's not going to change his trajectory of where he ends up in the draft.
Now, is someone going to ask him about it? Sure. They're going to sit in that interview and say, tell me about that.
Especially because it appeared there was miscommunication between him and Beamer, or where somebody in the defensive staff. Like, you're going to want to figure out what happened there. But again, it's not like, well, this guy's got character issues. We can't have him on our team.
When you look at the full body of work, Nick Eamon Warrior was a gamer. And that's going to take over. Look, let's just be honest. I said this before. These bowl games are truly, especially today, they're not indicative of who your team was through the whole season.
No.
I mean, Illinois lost their leading receiver before they played South Carolina. Carolina, obviously, Kyle Kennard opts out. Rocket Sanders opts out. Two huge pieces of what you were as a team for 12 games. Nick Eamon Warrior plays a half, and then he's like, hey, it was fun. I got to beat it. This is just, that's why, even if South Carolina would have won and got the 10th win, it's like, that's great. That's wonderful. I get it. It was a goal. Everybody that was there, for the most part, they were all in. They won. But at the end of the day, even if you would have got it, that Citrus Bowl didn't stamp you.
No.
The 12 games you played stamped you as a football team. It just put a cherry on top of a successful season. That's all.
You know, if even Ori got a pick 6 in the bowl game, that's another thing to add to the highlight tape. But again, we kind of knew, and again, most of the draft experts and analysts kind of knew what he was before that game anyway. And again, he's going to get a chance to, as you talk about, go to the Underwear Olympics and impress people with his athleticism that may shoot him up even further. So again, the hay's kind of in the barn for the most part. These All-Star games are again a chance for you to get up close and personal with these scouts so they can see the minute details of your game, your footwork, your hands, those kind of things, and you know, see how you might slot in on those teams. So again, TJ and Kyle feel like they probably proved what they could this week and are gonna, you know, take the option to sit out tomorrow. Demetrius Knight's still gonna play. He's been apparently thumping people all week long down there in Mobile, which is pretty on brand. And if you want to watch a Gamecock, you'll get a chance to see him tomorrow.
Plus, you know what? This isn't, you know, to be taking a shot at the guys who are opting out. Demetrius Knight likes to play.
Yeah.
Like there was, we thought, well, is he going to opt out of the bowl game? Because again, it's a Citrus Bowl. It's not a college football playoff game. He's done. His next step now is to get himself as prepared as possible to get ready for the NFL draft and to move himself up draft boards.
Yep.
It's not playing in the Citrus Bowl. Demetrius Knight's like, oh, I'm playing, bro. I'm in.
Yeah.
And even like in this bowl, could you see him like, even if he had a good week of practice, you know, at the Senior Bowl, are you going to opt out? Pff, what are you, nuts?
I don't
man.
want my son asking me in 7 years, Dad, can I quit something? I never quit anything.
I quit nothing.
You quit the Reese's Senior Bowl. Oh, you got me there.
Yeah. Okay, you're right. You can quit whatever you want. Oh, the other thing too is it'd be great because, man, if I don't play in the Senior Bowl, it means I'm going back home. I got to jump in the minivan and I got to go over to Joanne Fabric.
I got to mow the grass.
I'd rather play. I got a honeydew list sitting on the refrigerator like nobody's business.
Yeah. Can't get to it in Mobile. Senior Bowl.
Building draft stock, honey.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway, so that's what's going on with the Gamecocks at these.
The kids are just
bowl
hope he
games.
brings home a bag of Reese's.
Oh,
quite frankly.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, if you're a kid, that's all you don't care about what Dad did on the field. What kind of merch did you bring back, Dad?
By the way, did you see Orlovsky eating the Reese's yesterday?
No, I did not.
It's a criminal offense. I'll show you
What
in the
was he
break.
doing?
You'll see. It's
Okay,
disgusting.
I'll have to watch this. All right, real quick. We were talking about the cut about Arch Manning.
Mhm.
Let's get cut 13 day before we go to break. Marty Smith from ESPN talking about what level hysteria
Got a loose ball.
is there going to be for Arch Manning in college this year. Hit it, Dave.
Just know this, brother. It's going to be Tim Tebow level hysteria this fall when we go to Austin, Texas, when he is behind center full time for the first time. It's going to be like it was with Tebow at Florida. Everywhere they go, they're going to be rock stars. And that is what I anticipate. And I think that that's what we're going to see.
There you go. Marty Smith talking about it. It's going to be a thing. There's no
Yeah.
doubt about it.
I talked about this earlier. It takes more than just the play on the field
Mhm.
to get to a Tebow, a Manziel, a Reggie Bush level of stardom in college football. I don't doubt Arch Manning's ability to be a great player. I don't know if he's going to be that polarizing personality, though, that those guys were.
He's a Manning. They don't really, especially when they're playing, they're not quote machines.
I don't know. Peyton Manning's pretty funny, man.
Now he is, but he wasn't
He's-
when he played.
Well, he did. He hosted Saturday Night Live.
Well,
that
that's
one
when everybody
time.
realized what he was. 'Cause
Yeah.
remember, we were all stunned because we never saw the side of Peyton
Yeah,
Manning. He's
he-
actually funny.
He's got that great, self-deprecating sense of humor that just works.
But when he was a player, he was just a
Yeah.
A cut and dried football quote machine. The only time he ever got out of his quote machine thing is when he took a shot at Vanderjack, the kicker, and said, "Our drunk kicker."
That's right.
Remember that?
He wasn't wrong.
No, he wasn't. All right. Halftime show. We're going football in the 1 o'clock hour. Sponsored by Atlantic Windows and Doors here on the game. As we pop back, there's a big game this weekend. It's called the Super Bowl. Let's circle back on that for a minute or two. Right here on the halftime show on the game in Columbia, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
The Game Network in Columbia.
107.5 The Game.
In Florence.
100.5 The Game.
In Myrtle Beach.
100.3 The Game.
Everyone wants you to pay for their streaming app. You got to have this one. You got to have that one. Well, not us. here at the game. Why? Because we love you more than they do. Just go to iTunes or Google Play and download the 107.5 The Game app for free. 107.5 The Game, broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Take up to $20K off new Silverados.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. Together, let's drive.
Calling all business owners and property managers. Is it finally time to get that parking lot or driveway repaved? Call Black Seal today. Black Seal is a locally owned commercial asphalt construction and maintenance company, servicing local churches, schools, shopping centers, warehouses, restaurants, you name it. If it needs asphalt paving or asphalt repair, Black Seal has you covered. If you're looking to pave your parking lot or driveway, Black Seal paves the way. Black Seal also provides maintenance options to maintain your asphalt and improve your curb appeal. Get your free estimate and visit blacksealsc.com to learn more.
Hi, my name is John, and I'm self-employed, and we got sidetracked on our taxes at the 2008 recession, and it became a monster that we couldn't tackle ourselves. We heard about the Ecton Law Firm on the radio and contacted John. If you could classify someone as a miracle worker, I would put him at the top of the list because he took our problem and resolved it for us with our not only our unpaid taxes, but our unfiled tax returns from previous years. And I would highly recommend the Ecton Law Firm.
It's great to know we have changed people's lives for the better. Hi, this is local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm. For over a decade, our office has been dedicated to helping hardworking individuals and businesses solve tax problems for good. So if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call our office today at 771-9800 or go to EctonLawFirm.com. That's ECTON lawfirm.com. Let's get your tax problem solved for good. Call today. You'll be glad you did.
Shepherd's Glass has provided commercial, residential, and auto glass installation, repair, and replacement to Columbia for over 50 years. Large retail storefronts, auto, custom shower enclosures, and mirrors for that remodeling or new construction project. Visit shepherdsglass.com to see and learn more. Now with 2 locations on Flat Springs Road in West Columbia and Chapin at 855 Chapin Road. shepherdsglass.com.
Shepherd's Glass, Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality.
I'm Fritz Strescher, owner of Atlantic Windows and Doors. We've been in the Columbia area for over 40 years and have been your trusted partner in enhancing home comfort, beauty, and energy efficiency. How do we do it? By delivering top-notch products from the nation's leading window and door manufacturers. Expect superior style, tailored to your needs, unmatched quality, and unbeatable value. Plus, our dedicated team handles installation. No third-party contractors. Discover more at awdsc.com.
Strengthening the lives of children and families is a passion. Turn that passion into results as a child welfare case manager. Learn more at dss.sc.gov. This message is sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Social Services.
I am dedicated. I am TNT.
With Team in Training, you will reach your best physical self so blood cancer patients can reach theirs. Change your life by joining a marathon, half marathon, triathlon, or a cycle event, and you'll change the lives of blood cancer patients.
I am committed. I am TNT.
After 600,000 participants and almost $1 billion raised for treatments, TNT has helped the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society make a significant impact in the advancement of blood cancer therapies that save lives every day.
I am making a difference. I am TNT.
Join TNT. Expand your circle of friends to be part of a very special community. Train with world-class trainers and have the chance to be part of the most exciting endurance sports events in the country. Or train on your own schedule with TNT Flex. Join TNT and fundraise while you train and take part in getting us all closer to a world without blood cancers.
Join TNT now. Go to teamintraining.org.
Hey everyone, it's Chris Clark. Garnet Trust is hoping to build the best and most sustainable NIL program in the country. To find out how you can get involved, go on over to garnettrust.com. You can support Gamecock athletes there, get access to exclusive content, and help Garnet Trust build the best NIL program in the country.
The Halftime Show, your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
All right, we are cooking nothing but football in the 1 o'clock hour, sponsored by Atlantic Windows and Doors. Here on The Game, Terry Ford, Tyler Head, live from Pro Swing. as we are going through day 2 of our 3-day inaugural 107.5 The Game Pro Swing Winter Golf Classic. Again, between 2 and 5, there are spots open. Tomorrow before 1, there's spots open. You're shooting to beat 8 under. That's the clubhouse leader right now.
If you slide out of work early, make sure your boss doesn't see,
Mhm.
get here, play around, and who knows, go in $1,000.
Yeah. Why are you walking? I don't feel good. I'm really not feeling good.
Feel
boss.
good enough to carry that bag of golf clubs, though.
Why are you walking out of here in your golf clothes?
Makes me feel better.
Yeah, unless I'm less nauseous when I'm in my golf.
They're looser fitting,
Mhm.
so I can breathe better. Circulation, ventilation, all those
Which
things.
makes me,
Yeah.
less likely to barf. So 2 to 5 today, before 1 tomorrow. Come out, register, give it a shot. Maybe you can beat 8 under here at Pro Swing in Columbia on Forest Drive. Okay, Chiefs are a 1.5 favorite. I think the over-under is like 48.5.
Yep.
For the Super Bowl against the Eagles, and we, again, we've got all next week to get into it. But one interesting note: Brandon Graham, veteran pass rusher for the Eagles, he tore his tricep earlier. I think it was tricep earlier this year, and it's going to be his last season. Graham is the one that got the big sack on Tom Brady in the Super Bowl when the Eagles beat the Patriots.
That's right.
So Graham, they didn't know if he would come back or not after he tore the tricep. It was back, I believe, in November, but he's practicing. And even though he might not be the Brandon Graham of his prime, he's a guy that can bring heat still.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's not going to be a lot of snaps. Most likely, he hasn't played since November. But if Brandon Graham is healthy enough to be active and on the field, it just gives you another body to go after go after Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, you can use him situationally, get after the passer, those kind of things. Certainly can't hurt. What's a strong defense, but one that's obviously been plagued by injuries. And you're obviously going to be without Nakobe Dean, who's been kind of the anchor in the middle of that defense for so much of this year. So yeah, if you can get Brandon Graham back for even just a handful of snaps, that can't hurt you.
Yeah, not at all. So 1.5 favorite of the Chiefs for a week from Sunday's Super Bowl against Philadelphia Eagles. Another interesting little stat. According to a source, the NFL recorded its fewest number of concussions since it began tracking the data in 2015. 182 concussions in total during games and practices in both the preseason and regular season. A 17% drop from 2023. Guess who gave us this information, Tyler?
The NFL.
Yeah. How about that?
Now, they do have plenty of statistics to back this up. If the number jumped by 17%, I don't think this will be the headline news that they're making it out to be today. But when things are going positive, you got a good headline.
Here's my thing about the NFL with this. The NFL, for a long time, was putting out data that said repeated blows to the head could not cause any kind of permanent brain damage or any kind of permanent disability, right?
Yeah, they made a whole movie about it.
Yeah. And the NFL also would refute any medical evidence to the contrary with their own whatever it was.
Yeah.
So when the NFL puts out any data about concussions, I go like this. Because look, the only reason the NFL cares about player safety is because they don't want a line of players in court suing them again.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's all they care. The NFL does not care about player safety. You know what they care about? Money.
Yeah, if they cared about player safety, we wouldn't have 17, potentially 18 games. Wouldn't play Thursday night football. Like, those things are not conditional to good health. And yet we do them anyway because they make a lot of money. Now, again, it's great that those numbers have come down according to the NFL.
Sure.
But you're right. It is funny how 12, 15 years ago they were like, we're good.
Not even
Nothing's
happening.
wrong here.
Nothing to see here.
Now, the Junior Seau thing, that had nothing to do with his NFL career. That was just an anomaly. But now they're like, yeah, maybe we should change the things.
Yeah, that's just the thing. It's like, so once you got that line of folks suing you over head injuries and CTE and concussion-induced issues, then all of a sudden you cared about player safety, but you still played Thursday night.
when it hurts your bottom line.
Right, because you know what? Yeah, you look at that big check you're getting from Amazon. And I've talked to guys who have played. And this isn't like you go, wow, never thought of that. Guys that play will tell you after spending 3 hours of basically doing repeated car crashes at high speed. Monday, you're a zombie.
Yeah.
You're a zombie on Monday. Tuesday, you start getting feeling again in parts of your body. By Wednesday, you're starting to feel not normal, but feeling much better. And guess what? Now you got to go Thursday and play again.
Yeah, if you play at 1 o'clock on Sunday and then play on Thursday night, you're going roughly about 100 hours between games, which is not nearly enough time to recover.
Yeah.
So again, it makes money because again, Bezos cut the $1 billion check to the NFL to broadcast those games. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah, and that's just what gets you. So when the NFL puts out this information, oh, I have a reason to sit around and go, sure, whatever you guys have to say. All righty. Absolutely. We've been tracking who is going to be the new head coach in New Orleans. Nothing new there. Last thing, Bill Belichick said something kind of interesting. That the Super Bowl trophy should not be named the Lombardi Trophy anymore. It should be named the Tom Brady Trophy because guess what? This cat's won 7 of them.
Well, Lombardi had 2, 3.
But he won a bunch of NFL championships.
Yeah, of course.
Before which I think is kind of funny that we recognize NBA championships from back in the 50s and 60s. We recognize the Yankees of the 20s won a ton of World Series. We recognize Stanley Cup champions from 1904.
We recognize national champions from Joe Schmo's poll back in 1937.
But we don't talk about anybody that won an NFL championship before the Super Bowl.
Because it didn't exist before.
It wasn't real.
The NFL wasn't real before 1967. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Then it became real.
Yeah, then it was real.
Now, so I understand what Bill is saying in theory, and that players win, and you should maybe have the trophy named after the ultimate winner of Super Bowls. Why don't you just, and I think it was Mike Greenberg brought this up, and agreeing with Mike Greenberg makes me feel weird, but do what these other sports have done. Name the MVP trophy after Tom Brady.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, he's
Make it
won his
easy.
share of MVPs, and, that didn't really have a name attached to it. It's just Super Bowl MVP, but, congratulations, Patrick Mahomes. You're the Tom Brady Super Bowl MVP.
Why do we, and again, I love evolving. I'm a guy that I always want to evolve, and I never want to, I don't want to be angry guy screaming at clouds. I don't want to be Dabo Sweeney.
Yeah.
I'll take his money. But why do we, though, have to try to think everything always needs a facelift? Why can't the Lombardi just be named the Lombardi Trophy? Why? It was named after Vince Lombardi for a reason. Why do we need to change it?
I don't have a problem with it. It's just something we just all mutually understand. Hey, greatest coach of his era, won the first Super Bowl. Yeah.
I got a
Put his
great
name on
idea.
it.
Why don't we change the name of the Lord Stanley Cup to the Lord Gretzky Cup? Why not?
Why not? The O'Brien Trophy, we can rename it to the LeBron Trophy or the Jordan Trophy.
The Jordan Trophy.
Yeah.
Ready? The LeBron Jordan Trophy.
Sure.
Make everybody happy. It's just, why do we need to do that? Why do we want to change the logo of the NBA? Why? What did Jerry West do? Not only was he a great, iconic player, but he was an iconic executive, and he built championship teams. Why do we want to change that to, well, can we make it a modern-day player? Why?
Yeah.
Why is anything past? But
because who looks at the logo and says, "Oh, that bothers me"?
It's Jerry West.
Yeah.
Half
the time you forget it's him, right? You're
Yeah.
just like, that's just the NBA logo.
That's the logo.
That's a silhouette of a man dribbling a basketball.
Yeah. Why,
That's all that it is.
Why do we have to mess with that? Why is it, if it was before Sports Center, when we all kind of grew up with Sports Center, why, just because it's in black and white and it's on a newsreel, why do we have to take a dump on it and want to get rid of it and want to have to do something that was in our lifetime? Why can't we?
I don't know.
Why can't we give some love to the things that happened before us that enabled us to get to where we're at today?
Great question.
Got to change that logo. Why? Because you do. What Jerry West do to you?
R.I.P.
All right. Football, the 1 o'clock hour, sponsored by Atlantic Windows and Doors here on the game. Terry Ford, Tyler Head, hanging around at Pro Swing. We'll get more into that in a little bit. Nick Saban had an interesting story about his life that we're going to get to next. And also the final recruiting rankings for the past season. All that's coming up on the halftime show. Terry Ford, Tyler Head, David Dare back at Mission Control on the game.
From the Midlands to the PD to the beach.
The Game Network.
Here's what's coming up on the game.
The Schroeder's Towing Roadshow rolls on to Pro Swing Golf, 4708 Forest Drive in Columbia, this Thursday and Friday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Broadcasting live from the first annual Pro Swing Golf Classic.
Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
What's up, Gamecocks? Ben Cato, third-generation owner of Cato's Power Equipment. We have an exciting new solution for those of you who have retention ponds, large hills, or overgrown land that needs clearing. Now available at Cato's Power Equipment, the all-new Gravely Ovis RC40 is a remote control, track-driven flail mower with a uniquely low center of gravity that makes easy work of hillsides and large brush. Whether you're interested in renting or purchasing, come schedule your free demo today at Cato's Power Equipment.
We keep the clutter out of your gutter. Call on the gutter man.
Hi, this is Chastity from the Gutterman. Have the fall leaves clogged your gutters? The pros at the Gutterman can keep the clutter out of your gutter and your downspouts. Look for our guys in the powder blue trucks. Call me at 803-791-7147 or visit us online at thegutterman.com.
We keep the clutter out of your gutter. Call on the gutter man.
Minuteman Press is your one-stop shop for your company's brand building needs. We design, print, and promote you. Mention this radio ad and Minuteman Press will give you 20% off your next order. This includes printing, promotional products, signs, and logo apparel. Offer valid through January 31st. Visit us at mmpcolumbia.com or at our showroom at the corner of 1415 Gervais Street. Did I mention Minuteman Press has over 150 five-star Google reviews? Call 803-779-7660.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply or play stop to opt out.
Your garage door could be a ticking time bomb. Seriously, did you know 20 to 30,000 garage door accidents happen every year in the U.S.? How does that even happen? Well, your garage door has 20 or more working parts and opens and closes 1,500 times a year. That's a lot of wear and tear. Don't wait until something breaks and you get stuck. Text TECH to 323232 right now for your ProCheck multi-point inspection only from OGD Overhead Garage Door. With thousands of five-star Google reviews, OGD is the garage door expert in Columbia. OGD is available 24/7 to help you with same-day service. So if your garage door is broken, stuck, slow, or squeaky, text OGD, the only name you need for your garage door. Text TECH to 323232 right now and get an exclusive link to special limited time savings. Text the word TECH to 323232 now. Text TECH to 323232.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Shepherd's Glass has provided commercial, residential, and auto glass installation, repair, and replacement to Columbia for over 50 years. Large retail storefronts, auto, custom shower enclosures, and mirrors for that remodeling or new construction project. Visit shepherdsglass.com to see and learn more. Now with 2 locations on Flat Springs Road in West Columbia and Chapin at 855 Chapin Road. shepherdsglass.com.
Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass. A true reflection of quality.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
What you're talking about
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
on the Game Network.
We always talk football in the 1 o'clock hour, sponsored by Atlantic Windows and Doors on the Game. All right, South Carolina, the final recruiting 1-3 industry rankings are out for this past recruiting cycle. South Carolina, number 17 by On3. So a top 20 recruiting class is good. And some of the SEC schools ahead of you, here we go. And Missouri is right behind you at 18. Ole Miss was at 20, by the way. And Mississippi State 23rd, and those are the other SEC schools in the top 25. So if you add it all up, you got those three. You got Mississippi State, you've got Ole Miss, and Missouri behind you. Then you got South Carolina, Oklahoma at 16. At number 11 is Florida. Tennessee is 10. Michigan goes 9. LSU is 8. Auburn is 7. A&M is 6th. Alabama is 3rd. Georgia is 2nd. 13 of the 16 SEC teams are in the top 25.
You're telling me, despite Paul Feinbaum telling me the SEC has fallen from the top of the mountain, they're still recruiting pretty well? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, it seems like kids still want to play in the SEC.
You're telling me that the SEC's downfall may have been exaggerated?
That would never happen, Tyler. Never happen.
Not at all. Not Paul. Not Paul.
No, because he's never just saying stuff to get a reaction from people. Not at all.
Not at all.
I don't know where your mind is. And that's just the reality of this thing. I mean, you're 17th in the country, and you're looking around going, where am I? I'm in still the bottom part of the SEC.
Well, that's the funny thing is, we say, hey, Carolina got a top 20 recruiting class. Okay, where'd it fall in the SEC? 13th. Okay, we still got some work to do. Again, still very good class, a lot of good talent in there.
You're sitting at 17, yes.
A lot of good talent. On3 put out there on 300 of the final rankings. These guys, a lot of Carolina players being represented there, so it's good. But again, the Texas, the Georgias, the Alabamas are still at that very tippy top, and Carolina's done a good job these past couple of years getting a 5-star in these past couple of classes. But those schools are still raking in 2, 3, and 4 of them sometimes.
Yep. So that's the final deal on 3 of the recruiting ranking. South Carolina finishing 17th. All right, to the NFL, Dan Campbell, head coach of the Lions, losing both his offensive and defensive coordinators. Offensive coordinator Ben Johnson, new head coach in Chicago. Defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn, unfortunately, drew the short straw and will be the head coach of the Jets.
You mean of the Aaron Rodgers?
Yes. Hey, it's a whole roster. Ain't about one guy. It's a whole roster.
Okay, well, good luck having that conversation once he gets back from his darkness retreat.
Yeah, where he's sitting in some hut. So here is Dan Campbell speaking to the media this week on the situation of losing both your offensive and defensive coordinators to head coaching gigs. Hit it, Dave. Cut 11.
It can't, right? It can't. Can't allow that to happen. That's my job, is to replenish and find the next man up and the guy who's going to give us the best chance to have success on both sides of the ball. So we're not going to allow that to happen. I'm not. Does it hurt to lose those guys? Absolutely. They're a part of what we've been here. I mean, they've been here for 4 years. They're one of the major reasons why we've been able to get to where we've been, man. We came out of the dump and got to where we're at. So, man, I will forever be grateful for those guys, and our team will. And is it a loss? Absolutely, it'd be a loss. But yet, man, we move forward. This train rolls on, and I'll find the next best guys for us.
Train rolls on. And what else are you going to say if you're Dan Campbell? We're screwed.
Yeah, no, you're just like, all right, time to hit the panic button.
Right.
Like, no,
We're
you're
in trouble.
But here's the interesting thing, and we've seen this happen countless number of times in the NFL. We're going to learn how much of the success the past couple of years was on Dan Campbell as a head coach or on his coordinators and what they were doing with their individual sides of football. Go back to a couple of years ago when when the Eagles go to the Super Bowl and then Sirianni has both of his coordinators plucked. They just have this disastrous back half of the 2023 season. Obviously, they've rebounded. They've gotten themselves back to a Super Bowl, but we started questioning, like, man, is this Nick Sirianni actually a good coach, or was it just Steichen and Gannon that were the reasons why they were so good a year ago? And again, if the Lions fall off and go from 14-2 to 8-9 next year, it's going to be like, whew, maybe Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn were just that good, and kind of propping up Campbell as a head coach.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, if you losing both your coordinators,
for one, it means you're really good.
Yeah,
You had a good
if
season.
you stink, you
If that
don't lose
happens-
them. But losing them both is a tough thing, and because at the end of the day, as a head coach, and Dan Campbell is not a former offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator. He is the CEO, leader, culture builder, head coach.
Yep.
And so it's not like Dan's going to step in and go, I'll be the offensive coordinator. No, it doesn't work that way. So you've got to go out and find two dudes who can do these things, hopefully at the same level of two dudes who left.
Yeah. And that kind of brings a question into what they've decided to do to fill those spots. You bring back John Morton at OC, who was an assistant in 2022, back when Ben Johnson first took over. He's only ever been a play caller for one season in the NFL. It was with the Jets, and they were terrible.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, not the best track record here. Then you got
promote.
Kendall Shepard.
Yeah, you promote from within.
Kelvin
Yep.
Shepard, excuse me,
Mhm.
the defensive assistant who's never been a DC,
Mhm.
who's taking over for Aaron Glenn. Now, again, he could go on and be the best DC we've ever seen, but you don't know that. You're going to have to see. So these hires are definitely going to be wait and see things, as opposed to, hey, we went out and got a coordinator who's been doing this for 5-6 years.
Right.
Here's his track record of great offenses or whatever it may be. You're going to have to see how these guys pan out.
I'm surprised. And let's focus on the offensive side of the ball. I am surprised that you couldn't go out and get a guy with more of a resume.
You would think.
You have got, look at this offense. It's a powerhouse.
Yeah.
From the offensive line to all the weapons at wide receiver and running back. And Jared Goff looked at, we know Jared Goff soiled himself in the playoff game.
He was
against
playing at a near
Washington.
MVP level for a lot of this year.
Yes, but Jared Goff, you can do a lot worse than Jared Goff.
Yep.
So you're looking at a quarterback, running backs, wide receivers, a tight end who's really good, an offensive line that gets the job done.
Yep.
A head coach, by the way, who is hands off and lets you do your thing.
Yep.
I'm surprised they couldn't get a better OC regarding resume. Now, again, like you said, it doesn't mean that the new offensive coordinator can't be as good or better than Ben Johnson. I'm just saying it's a little bit of a head scratcher that you couldn't go out and get someone who more of a been there, done that. But then nobody knew what Ben Johnson was going to be fair.
And again, is Campbell making these hires for the comfort and familiarity of a guy that was once on your staff in John Morton and a guy that's been on your staff in Kelvin Shepard? Maybe so. And it's saying, hey, these guys know what's up. They know how we do things around here.
The Lions way.
Yeah, the Lions way. There's no acclimation process. Maybe that is. And that could end up being a detriment. We don't know. But none of these guys, you go into next season saying, yeah, they're a sure thing. I kind of know what to expect.
All right, got a quick story about Nick Saban real fast. He told this story on a podcast that he done recently. Was talking about growing up in West Virginia. And he's talking about the last time he got his butt whooped as a high schooler.
Still getting his butt whooped in high school? Wow.
Yeah, his dad was no joke. Ran like
Yeah.
a gas station or as
Yeah.
an auto mechanic or whatever. Here's a quote from Saban. He goes, I always thought I was more of that kid growing up in West Virginia. I cared what people thought when I was a kid growing up, but I didn't ever change and think that I was better than people, or people should treat me a certain way, or I should be able to get in front of line and just kind of use my who I am to get over on folks, basically. He goes, the last butt whipping I ever got was with my father, Nick Saban Sr. He used to give, I'm going by Nick's story here, used to give the hobo in the area coffee and donuts at my dad's service station. I was in there breaking down tires. And I don't know if we had lost the game the night before. It was basketball season, football season, whatever. But the hobo was getting on my butt about something. And I told him, go bleep off. Well, my dad was across the room in his office. I'm jacking this tire up and whap, I get a belt right across my butt. And I said, what was that for? And my father looked at me and said, I don't ever want to hear you disrespect an older person ever again. And Nick Saban Jr. says, here's this guy, drunk bum, walks the railroad tracks every day to get coffee. And Dad told me, you still don't disrespect him because he's an elder. Show your respect. So there you go.
Well, I'm glad he didn't have a problem with the language itself, because oh boy, Nick Saban used that to his advantage over the years.
Yes, he has. So here's a little Nick Saban story for you. All right, Firehouse Up text the hour coming up 803-404-6100 as we roll nothing but football in the 1 o'clock hour, sponsored by Atlantic Windows and Doors here on the game.
107.5 The Game.
In Columbia.
100.5 The Game.
In Florence.
100.3 The Game.
In Myrtle Beach. The Game Network. Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV.
Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality.
The Game TV.
This is Andrew Perloff with a Sports Minute, sponsored by TaxSlayer. Get your max refund at TaxSlayer.com and file fearlessly. Travis Kelce says he's embracing the Chiefs' new villain role. I'm not sure he has a choice. The fatigue with Kansas City is palpable. One thing you can't accuse Kelce of is being inauthentic. He's been trash talking and celebrating TDs like a madman ever since he got to the NFL. You might not like it, but he's not going to shrink, even if people are tired of the act. I'm Andrew Perloff.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like discovering a refund tree has grown in your backyard.
I'm the refund tree.
Sawing off its branches.
Hey.
Feeding them through a wood chipper.
My branches! My beautiful branches!
And dancing in its refund rain. Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? I think my battery's dead. With free battery testing and charging, we can help you get back on the road.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
So what if I need a new one? We have the right Duralast battery for you, only at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
And what about my old battery? We can recycle it right here at America's #1 battery destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Is your crawl space damp or musty? Water in your crawl space can cause wood to rot and creates an environment for mold and mildew that can make its way inside your home. Canty Foundation Specialist specializes in crawl space repair. Call us today for your free inspection so you can have the peace of mind knowing your crawl space is dry and your home is protected. Call today, 803-424-8380, or visit cantycanfixit.com.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Do you have a special needs child or an older adult in your home? The risk of them leaving the house unnoticed is real and terrifying, but you can protect your loved ones with Vivint Home Security. Right now, Vivint is offering a free doorbell camera with any new plan, plus free installation and low monthly monitoring plans. Call 800-953-6693. That's 800-953-6693. Monthly service agreement required for free installation.
Get ready to smile because Herndon Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy dealer, is offering an amazing deal right now. Get up to $20,000 off new Silverados. Yes, you heard that right. Up to $20,000 off. Don't wait. Head over to HerndonChevy.com today and drive home in the truck of your dreams. Chevy, together let's drive.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile. Smile.
Call 803-510-5447 for complete details.
The Halftime Show, sponsored by the Men's Clinic of South Carolina.
It's time for Text of the Hour on the Firehouse Subs text line on the Halftime Show.
On your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
And 100.5 The Game in Florence. And the 107.5 The Game app.
As we hang here live at Pro Swing, day 2 of our 3-day Pro Swing 107.5 The Game Winter Golf Classic, the inaugural version. Time to get our Firehouse Up text the hour at 803-404-6100. What do you got there, Tyler?
We have multiple people agreeing with you that our drunk idiot kicker was definitely Peyton Manning's funniest moment back in the day.
Good. I think it was at the Pro Bowl. And that was the piece of sound taken from the Pro Bowl. Because Vanderjagt had criticized something in that, because that's the year they lost, I think, to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
In the playoffs, in 06, or I think it was when Pittsburgh went off and won the Super Bowl as a wild card, beat the Seahawks.
Yep.
And Manning was at the Pro Bowl, and he was asked about Vanderjagt's comments about something. And then they talked, and it was in regard to losing that playoff game. And Manning basically was if our drunk idiot kicker would have made the kick, we wouldn't be sitting here talking about this.
Yeah, right.
And it was hilarious. And it was probably Peyton Manning's best moment as a player when it comes to quotes.
Yeah. And again, I think that kind of opened the door. Like, maybe there's more to this guy than just being a, big-headed quarterback.
And he once that's Saturday Night Live.
That was I still go back and watch when he's playing football in the park with kids.
So good.
Nailing that. And he really did.
Yes.
Like, those kids had to sign like a waiver, and their parents had to okay him throwing a football as hard as he could at them.
It was so good. It was so good. That is, out of all the funny stuff Peyton Manning has done over the years since he retired, and all of a sudden we found out, wow, this guy's got a personality. Yeah. Look at this dude. That's the funniest thing. That skit is phenomenal.
I won't watch an entire Monday night game on the Manning cast, but I'll flip back and forth.
Yeah.
Especially if, like, when he's getting into like breaking things down, he's like, you can feel the excitement level.
Yeah. I like when him and Belichick are doing stuff together on the breaking down.
And when players, when he sees bad football being played, the disgust
the look on
his face
is so good.
of like being appalled that a
Mhm.
receiver would drop a ball, being appalled that a lineman would miss an assignment. Like, he is disgusted by bad football.
I do. I really think he's pretty genuinely funny. I do. And he's very self-deprecating.
Yep.
And I do. It's just like, wow, when you first find out this dude's actually not just a robot quarterback, he's got an excellent personality. And you can see the view we get of his personality.
Yeah.
You can see why he was a good leader, whether it was at Tennessee, in Indy, in Denver, because, you can see, because obviously he's carrying himself. He prepares really hard. He studies really hard. He works really hard. But that sense of humor, you could see him, the drunk idiot kicker quote, you could see him in the locker room saying something to make a point to a teammate. It was probably a nice cutting shot. And B, the rest of the guys laughed.
Yeah.
Right. You could picture him as that type of guy where he wasn't a one-trick pony in a locker room.
Yeah.
So you could see why he was a leader.
And again, look, his reputation earns him respect already. So just going to the Denver situation, he was already a leader the second he stepped in that locker room. But knowing that you can cut up with him a little bit too, I think helps out. Like, hey, he's not all, go hard football all the time.
Yeah, he's also a dude, right?
Yeah.
Now with Brady, like, I look at Brady different. And Brady was a leader too in his own way.
Sure.
He was a no nonsense. I want to be the best every second, whether it's practice, whatever he's doing, he wanted to be the best at it. You see, look, anybody that has watched enough football has seen the Tom Brady Combine video.
Yes.
I mean, my son at 14 had a bigger chest than Tom Brady.
The pale, flabby 6th round pick out of Michigan.
And just him running the 40, they were like, "Hey Tom, we got to turn the lights off here. You gonna finish up that 40 at some point."
He's still not done with it yet, by the way.
And so then later in his career, he started to take it more seriously about getting, more athletic.
Yeah.
As he went through his career, the guacamole and the avocado ice cream and
now he can't be in the room with sugar.
Yeah,
it's part of his diet.
Right. So he tried to make himself a better. So he was always looking to get an edge and get better. And he was a no nonsense guy. You saw him like talking to teammates, motivating, yelling. So you get his leadership. But I don't think he was cutting up and joking around with the boys.
I will say the roast they did of him last year opened my eyes to how funny he can be. Now, I imagine a lot of those jokes were pre-written for him, he does have a sense of humor.
I'm not going to say it's not there. I just think Peyton Manning is more naturally a funny guy than Brady. I think Brady has to force it out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like Brady probably has an alarm on his phone. Be funny this hour.
Yeah.
You haven't been funny today.
Tell your joke of the day.
Yes.
Hey guys, knock knock.
Yeah. But I think that Peyton Manning has more of a natural sense of humor.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
That makes any sense.
I would agree with that. I agree. With
So, but yeah, when he did the thing about Vanderjack, I'll never forget seeing because I didn't watch the Pro Bowl. I remember that was on Sports Center. I was like laughing. I go, God, that was ridiculously funny. I love it. So thank you for the text. 803-404-6100, the Firehouse Sub text line. All right, what's trending at 2 is coming. We'll get back to some cuts from Lamont Paris last night on Carolina Calls, talking about his basketball team as they get ready to go at it Saturday against Texas A&M. 8 o'clock pregame, 8:30 tip as the Gamecocks try to get their first SEC W against the Texas A&M Aggies. We'll get more into that coming up here again in what's trending at 2, sponsored by Traditions Fine Jewelry and Gamecock Traditions. We're hanging here at Pro Swing. Haley showed up. The party has now started. We're here all day long up until 6 here on the game.
.1075 The Game, broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Take up to
So again, Pro Swing and 107.5 the game, our inaugural Winter Ball Classic here at Pro Swing in Columbia on Forest Drive. What's trending at 2 is sponsored by Traditions Fine Jewelry and Gamecock Traditions. What's trending is Lamont Paris on Carolina Calls last night. And Lamont, it was kind of interesting, Tyler. Lamont talked about changing some stuff up, maybe simplifying and streamlining some things on offense.
Yep.
For the youngins and the inexperienced folks. Talked about that 1-3-1 zone that has worked so well. Let's grab this cut, Ed Bird. Grab cut 2. Jamari Thomas, since coming back from the injury, Tyler, has played. I mean, again, there's turnovers like everybody, but Thomas, when it comes to just offensively being like the number 2 guy behind Colin Murray Boyles, Thomas has stepped up some play. Here's a cut 2. Lamont Paris talking about Jamari Thomas's play since returning from the injury.
Time the game was what it
Okay,
was,
cool,
and you got to
cool,
try to
cool.
win the game. So there were a couple defensive lapses that happened just because he was tired, having been out for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But he's looked really good. We're gonna get him creating more. We look at our turnovers, and obviously, I've always thought that the one way to make sure you don't win is to have a whole lot of turnovers, and so we're gonna get the ball. Or simplify some things and get certain guys making less decisions and get a guy like him doing more, honestly, just to have him creating more. That's what we brought him here for. We looked at between Michi and Talon, those guys, if you look, we took it for granted. Michi, score. When you think of him, right, you think score. This guy was 95 assists to 51 turnovers for a score. Talon, 144 assists to 41 turnovers. It's just stuff that you take for granted when you're talking about being able to do some, perform some basic things.
Yeah, turnovers kill you. I don't know, call me crazy. They don't give you points for them.
Yeah. Did you think we'd be talking about a guy that's no longer on this team as much this year as we have with Talon Cooper?
Isn't it funny? I mean, coming into the season, we said, look, the biggest thing on this basketball team was replacing Cooper at the point.
Which we knew was not going to be easy.
But to what you're saying, here we are past the halfway point of the season, and we're still saying, man, it'd be great to have Talon Cooper.
There's a month to go in the regular season, and we're still having this conversation. And again, look, Jamari Thomas, he can score. And that's good. But again, when you look at the issues of ball control on offense, if you had that more steady, controlling point guard, you probably wouldn't be running into these issues. I mean, I went back and just kind of skimmed the numbers because what Jamari Thomas had 4 or 5 turnovers the other night in their game. And what Talon Cooper, I think, didn't have a game with more than like 3.
Yeah.
And recently it was like 1 or 2. That's great. That is wonderful. But again, when you're talking about 4 or 5, and in addition to Zach Davis turning it over 5 times, CMB turning it over 4 times, these things add up really quickly.
And, it sounds silly. Well, if you got a better point guards, everybody turns it over less. Well, they're controlling the game more on the offensive end of the court when you have a really good pass first, set the offense point guard. And so he's getting you the ball also at times in better positions to score.
Yep.
And he's igniting the offense to where you're putting yourself in these more productive situations to score.
Yep.
And that's what you're missing because this team doesn't have that type of point guard. And right now on the perimeter, again, you got guys playing roles they shouldn't be playing. And that never helps either. Like Jacoby Wright, God love him. Jacoby Wright shouldn't be playing 38 minutes. It really shouldn't be your point guard. He should be a guy coming off the bench to be able to hit some threes for you. He can play both guard positions for limited minutes, not for 38 minutes a game.
Yep.
Jamari Thomas, really, you watch him on a power 4 basketball team, it feels like Thomas is more suited to be a combo guard, maybe put him at the 2. He has lack of height as an issue, but still, he's not a traditional point guard. In a perfect world, he's not running the point for you. Zach Davis, again, there are things he does well on a basketball court. Dribbling and passing aren't 2 of them. So you're putting guys on the perimeter, and they're not in the roles they need to be in, and that hurts you.
Yeah. And again, when you're a team that's as predicated on defense as you are, you need a Zach Davis out there because defensively, very good. And some nights he will give you 20 points on offense. You may have to chuck it up 50 times, but he'll get you those 20 points. But it's finding that balance, which again, we're so far into the season. It's not going to change overnight. You are what you are at this point. You have to manage with what you have. And again, they're not going to go on a run and win the next 10 games, but can you pull off an upset or two in the final month of the season to make yourself feel better? Sure.
Yeah.
And that's kind of really what you're playing for at this point.
And the thing about like example, and not to pick on Zach Davis, but in a perfect world, he's like your fourth option on offense or fifth option on offense. He's taking 5-6 shots a game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he's slashing to the basket. That's his strength. He's gotten better at shooting threes. So maybe in the perfect world, he's taking 5 or 6 shots a game. 1, maybe 2 are from 3. But he's not shooting the rock 18 times, and the ball's not in his hands so much. He's turning it over because he's doing things he shouldn't be doing in the first place. So that's where when the pecking order gets screwed up, now you're putting guys in roles they really shouldn't be in.
Yeah.
And that's been an issue on the offense. Here's Lamont Paris from Carolina Calls last night. Let's get cut 7, Ed Bird, discussing Texas A&M. Texas A&M's biggest strength on offense is rebounding their missed shots and putting them back in or restarting possessions. Here's Lamont talking about the Aggies and their aggressive rebounding style.
Yeah. And that's saying a lot because we have a lot of that in this league. I mean, we have a lot of that in this league. Like you looked up all the stuff on block shots. Go ahead and do steals for yourself. Look at offensive rebounding. Right. It's like everybody's a tremendous offensive rebounding team. And these guys lead amongst the finest teams. These guys are at the top of that. So it's something that they preach. Obviously, they're relentless. They do it also with physically sturdy, rugged type guys. I think they don't win a lot of beauty contests, and that doesn't preclude you from ended up being the victor, that you don't win the beauty contest. And I think they know who they are, and they're comfortable with that. And there's obviously it's had a good, there's been a good recipe for success with that. But so we'll have to, anytime the shot goes up, it's going to be a mosh pit down there. Right. You're going to have to be comfortable with throwing your body into another guy's body, and sometimes honestly just hoping for the best.
And there is Lamont Paris saying you got to throw your body against people at some point. You might have to.
They have 5 guys averaging around 5 rebounds per game.
I watched a good bit of the Oklahoma game. They had, I think, last time I checked, 700 offensive rebounds against Oklahoma.
That might be a conservative estimate, to be honest with you.
Unbelievable what they did against Oklahoma when it comes to cleaning the offensive glass.
And look, they're not perfect on offense. They turn the ball over quite a bit themselves. They turned the ball over 20 times against Ole Miss a couple weeks ago. Still found a way to win that game 63-62 because they just grinded them on defense. So, they're not exactly going to drag you for 90 points or something like that. But, man, they're going to make it hell on you trying to get the ball in the basket.
Yeah, they're not an efficient crew by any stretch of the word. But what they do, again, is they rebound their missed shots. They're phenomenal on the offensive backboard. And that's how a lot of times they generate their offense. Putbacks or getting a rebound and starting the possession over again and getting a better shot. But they're not a great shooting team. They're a below average shooting team from 3 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
But what they do when it comes to rebounding, blocking shots, doing some of those dirty, boring things, that helps them win games. So if you put it this way, if you don't come out and match their intensity and their toughness with your toughness and intensity, you're going to have trouble with them.
Boots Radford's not there anymore, but Wade Taylor IV is playing his 18th year at Texas A&M, so you're still going to deal with him. They brought over Zurich Phillips, the transfer from SMU that's leading them in scoring, averaging 15 points per game. So you're going to have your hands full tomorrow night, that's for sure.
All right, what's trending at 2, sponsored by Traditions Fine Jewelry and Gamecock Traditions. Our buddy Scott Hamilton at 2:15.
Oh, boy.
From the Post and Courier.
I'll buckle up.
Yeah. It was like, do we invite him here to Pro Swing? Yeah, let's just have him on the phone this week.
It might be the more tame way to do it.
Scott Hamilton.
I don't know. He's done some unspeakable things on the phone, too.
Columnist for the Post and Courier will jump on with us here at 2:15. One other story I wanted to hit.
Yep.
Very interesting post about Jeff Goodman, who's been writing and covering college basketball for a long time. One of my favorite podcasts is the one he's involved in now. What's it called? That's about 64 of the tournament or whatever.
Field of 64.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Goodman's part of that podcast. It's a bunch of different guys, and it's really good. Well, Goodman was discussing John Calipari at Arkansas. And again, Arkansas has struggled this year. They've only won one SEC game.
They have.
And Calipari has been one and done in the SEC in the NCAA tournament various times lately.
You know, it's funny. Despite only having one win, they're still in consideration for the field of 64.
Yes, exactly. So Calipari, he is not what he used to be when you look at results. He's just not. Is he still putting dudes in the NBA? Sure. Is he still pulling high-profile recruits? Yes.
He's making Tyson chicken nugget money now.
Yes, he is. And they're even using the transfer portal a bit. So here's what Jeff Goodman said about John Calipari. He said that time has passed him by. Goodman also said, I think time has passed him by. I think he and his staff haven't adopted, like a lot of other coaches in the SEC or even around the country. Everyone else is adapting, and John Calipari and his staff, full of yes men, have not really adapted. And also, Goodman went on to say he has arguably the highest NIL payroll of any team. I think it's them in Kansas State, if I had to make an educated guess, somewhere in the $7 to $8 million range. The Arkansas guys just don't fit. The pieces don't fit. I've talked to a bunch of SEC coaches. I wrote something up last week about it, and they all said the same thing. It's a collective of talented players, but don't fit together. They got a bunch of guys that need the ball. They don't make each other better, and ultimately, Calipari's been able to out-talent people throughout the years. While the talent's still better, it's not vastly superior like it used to be, especially within the SEC. Yeah, I mean, the thing about Calipari, he out-recruited you with better players.
Sure.
And then Calipari would kind of see what he's got. The year would start. Calipari would adjust, go to maybe a different style of offense or a different style of defense or whatever the case. And then that would always be good enough.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, Calipari's guys just being better with the tweaks that Calipari made, that they would make deep runs in the tournament. Calipari's never been a great in-game coach. He's not a big adjuster once the ball gets thrown up. He never has been.
Right.
And some of Cal's weaknesses are getting exposed now because they're not head and shoulders better than people like they used to be.
Yep.
So now Calipari, if he wants to get himself back to what he used to be, he's got to look at where he's at. He's got to look at his staff. He's got to look at just his philosophy of what he does. He has gotten more into the transfer portal now. But he still loves himself a fabulous 5-star freshman.
Yep.
But Cal has to see what the other folks do that are successful. Here's my question. Has John Calipari's ego gotten to the point where John Calipari doesn't think he needs to evolve or look around and see what's being done?
Yeah, it's a good question. And again, when you look at kind of his performance in the NIL era, or excuse me, the transfer portal era and the NIL era go hand in hand, he can't make it past the second round of the tournament, including 2 inexcusable losses the past couple of years at Kentucky. Like, again, at Kentucky, it's all about how deep you go in the tournament. Yeah, the regular season is great, but what are you doing once the brackets come out? And after COVID, he's not been able to do much.
Nope. So it was a very interesting conversation that Jeff Goodman had about John Calipari and the head coach now, obviously, at Arkansas. All right, Scott Hamilton. We're going to get Scott Hamilton in here next from the Post and Courier. Going to yap with him, talk about some of the stuff he's been writing and his thoughts about what's happening in the SEC and here in South Carolina. That's next. Halftime show live from Pro Swing Golf in Columbia on Forest Drive, day 2 of our big get-together in our tournament. We'll talk more about that next on the Halftime Show, which is trending at 2 on the game.
The Game Network in Columbia.
107.5 The Game.
In Florence.
100.5 The Game.
In Myrtle Beach.
100.3 The Game.
Have you been wanting to play some golf while not freezing your tail off? How about playing 9 in perfect climate-controlled conditions where you can also win some dough? Well, sign up for the first annual Pro Swing Golf Classic. It's a 3-day event, January 30th through February 1st. $150 to register a 2-man team. Bookings are available 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Food from Bonefish Grill included. You can win $1,000 for first place, $750 for second, and $500 for third. Plus, we'll be drawing Gamecocks baseball tickets that someone could win by just registering. Call Pro Swing at 803-528-1617.
1075 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Take up to $20K off new Silverados.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. Together, let's drive.
Kickstart your day at 9 a.m. with your Carolina Pick-Me-Up, sponsored by South Carolina's largest injury law firm, George Sink Injury Lawyers. If you're injured, call all nines today.
Get George Sink Law Firm on the line. Call 999-999.
The 7th annual Driving Down Maine virtual golf tournament, hosted by United Way of the Midlands, is coming up on February 3rd and 4th at the Players Club on 1626 Main Street. Tee times are still available, with proceeds benefiting the Midlands Reading Consortium, a partnership between United Way and 18 Midlands elementary schools. Register your team now at uway.org/DDM to reserve your tee time. It's the United Way of the Midlands Driving Down Maine virtual golf tournament, February 3rd and 4th at the Players Club.
Hey, y'all, Jay Phillips here from my good friends at Dan's Van City in Harbison. Ceiling fans don't sound like something you think about a lot because you don't really need to, but when you've got good ones, they work so well, keeping energy costs down and your comfort level up. All kinds of fans at Dan's Fan City, big to small and quiet, quality fans. They have accessories and light kits, fan blades, and more. Stop by and see them soon, Harbison Boulevard next to Total Wine, or call Dan's Fan City, 781-FANS. You'll be glad you did.
Get ready to smile because Herndon Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy dealer, is offering an amazing deal right now. Get up to $20,000 off new Silverados. Yes, you heard that right. Up to $20,000 off. Don't wait. Head over to HerndonChevy.com today and drive home in the truck of your dreams. Chevy, together let's drive. Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile. Call 803-510-5447 for complete details.
You haven't tasted real Carolina barbecue until you've experienced Little Pig's Barbecue. Full service dine-in buffet with barbecue, ribs, brisket, chicken, rice, hash, tomato pie, macaroni and cheese, and many more of your favorites. Eat in or take out. Little Pig's Barbecue on Alpine Road has new hours. Now open from 11 to 8 Thursday through Saturday and 11 to 3 on Sunday. Little Pig's Barbecue on Alpine Road. Little Pig's family looks forward to seeing you.
Wow, 2024 flew by, but I am sure ready for 2025. My favorite way to start the new year is to make my home feel like new with Zerorez Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. Only Zerorez uses their advanced patented process with ZR Water for a superior, long-lasting clean. Right now, get 3 rooms cleaned for only $119 plus. Mention me, Bill Gunner at 1075 The Game, and you'll get a hallway cleaned for free. Easily schedule your cleaning online at ZerorezColumbia.com.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Shepherd's Glass has provided commercial, residential, and auto glass installation, repair, and replacement to Columbia for over 50 years. Large retail storefronts, auto, custom shower enclosures, and mirrors for that remodeling or new construction project. Visit shepherdsglass.com to see and learn more. Now with 2 locations on Flat Springs Road in West Columbia and Chapin at 855 Chapin Road. shepherdsglass.com.
Shepherd's Glass, Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality.
Powered by Integrated Media, The Game TV, sponsored by Shepherd's Glass for auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com in Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV, sponsored by Shepherd's Glass.
What's trending at 2?
Sponsored by Traditions Fine Jewelry and Gamecock Traditions.
2 locations in Lexington and Sandhills on the Halftime Show on the Game Network.
What's trending at 2? Sponsored by Traditions Fine Jewelry, Gamecock Traditions here on the Game in Columbia, Florence, Myrtle Beach. Halftime Show. Terry Ford, Tyler Head Bird steering the ship back at Mission Control. Time to Yep, with our buddy Scott Hamilton from the Post and Courier.
I'm buckled in. I'm ready
You
for
ready to
whatever
roll?
this wild ride's going to
Yeah,
be.
we were thinking, do we invite Scott to the Do we invite him to Pro Swing? Have him out in public with us?
How
And we
much damage
said,
could he do with golf clubs? Is the better question.
Well, he's done some things with golf clubs, but the court documents are sealed. We can't really get into that. What are you doing there, Bob? Did you get your Twitter figured out?
I did.
Finally,
They responded, yeah, because obviously your people were not competent enough to help solve the problem. So, I kept peppering.
What
I
a
kept
shot at
peppering them with-
Tyler! What a shot at Tyler! Wow.
I'll still take the $100, by the way.
I bet you would. No, it's crazy. I actually got a human being I interacted with via email. Like I sent a thank you note after they did it, and they responded right away. So they're real, man. They're real people there.
All right, Scott Hamilton, you actually do something for a living, which is called write columns for the Post and Courier. Your latest one here about the 2025 ACC football schedule is out. You have 5 takeaways from the release, but I want to ask you this because obviously ESPN Disney has decided they're going to continue on with the ACC through the grant of rights. To me, that wasn't a surprise. Was that a surprise to you? And what do you think of the idea that ESPN will continue on with the ACC with this deal?
No, I mean, it makes perfect sense. I mean, they're getting content. You get Notre Dame in a roundabout way through this. I mean, it makes perfect sense. What I'm curious to find out is how they will restructure the payouts from that media deal to the membership of the ACC, because that's what all this comes back to, Terry. It's, are they going to start paying for performance? Are they going to start paying Clemson more than Boston College or Florida State, allegedly Florida State, when they're not full of themselves? Are they going to pay them what they're worth when they are actually doing well as they did season before last? That's the big question from all this.
Scott Hamilton hanging out with us from the Post and Courier on the halftime show here on the Game Live from Pro Swing Golf in Columbia. All right, so you have your column up here about the ACC football schedule in 2025. All right, what is the thing? If I just said, give me one thing that stood out the most to you when you saw this, what was it?
The schedule? I love how it's front loaded. I actually love how it's front loaded, and they've got some really good non-conference games, power conference games, and Notre Dame, they count, right out of the gate. and that sets the perception, Terry. And I mentioned it in the column. I mean, look, we've got a playoff, which is wonderful, but that playoff is still decided by human beings. We have that selection committee, and they go off a lot of times what they perceive to be the lay of the land going into the season and after week 1, after week 2. And it's important that you are able to establish a foothold and start getting some attention out of the gate. There hasn't been a national champion unranked in the preseason since Georgia Tech in 1990. They weren't even ranked until week 5 and came in at number 23. That's not happening now unless some team backdoors into the playoff by winning a conference championship and get the automatic bid. So you've got to be able to set your perception early, get attention of the people who are going to be on that committee. AP voters still matter up until those first playoff rankings come out. You've got to be able to get attention out of the gate. And the ACC did a masterful job, individually, not collectively. Maybe they got to push from up on high to do better, but they did a good job of setting themselves up at the beginning.
By the way, as a Georgia alum, I don't recognize Georgia Tech's 1990 national championship. Colorado won it. You can't convince me otherwise. But in terms of this upcoming year, In terms,
I was getting ready to say the same thing. How about that 5-down win?
In terms of this upcoming year, obviously the ACC got 2 teams in the playoff, both of them bounced in the first round. When we look ahead to 26 and beyond, where we're talking about multiple AQs from conferences and the SEC maybe getting 3 or 4 in, same thing with the Big Ten. How critical is it that the ACC not only gets multiple teams in this next version of the playoffs, but actually makes a decent run during those playoffs?
Oh, it's huge. It's huge because the weaker they look as this thing goes on and on and on, the less likely that the ACC teams are going to get the benefit of the doubt. But also look at it like this financially, man. Financially, I mean, the league is so far behind the Southeastern Conference and the Big Ten when it comes to revenue per school that every little bit of money counts. And that money that Clemson and SMU got for the playoff go a long way to keeping that conference alive. Let's face it. What do they get? I don't have the numbers directly in front of me, but I want to say they each got $4 million just for getting in. That goes to the conference. Okay, so that's $8 million there. That'll be divvied up across the board. All the teams will get some money from that. It doesn't seem like a lot, but everything counts when the margins are so tight as they are at the ACC. Remember, their TV deal is laughable compared to what the two superpowers are getting. So they need all the cash they can get.
Our buddy, our pal Scott Hamilton from the Post and Courier, hanging out with us here on the halftime show on the game.
Are you going to give the Twitter handle? You're going to give the Twitter handle? I got to get some
Oh,
followers.
it's going to get hacked.
Now that he's got access,
It's going to get hacked anyway. So go ahead, give your Twitter handle.
Scott Hamilton, PC.
Right.
Well, Scott, I hope this also teaches you a lesson to stay off those bad websites so you don't get hacked again.
Whenever you
It
go
was
to
more
these
of like
websites,
crypto sites, like or
Sure,
Temu, which I did buy a coat from Temu and it rocked.
you call it.
It might be
anything you want,
made out of like chinchilla, or not chinchilla, but maybe out of like otter, maybe the fur. I mean, it's like a
Who
nice
doesn't want a
plush.
good otter coat? Who doesn't want a good otter
Otter.
coat? All right. Last thing for you. And we might let you come back in studio next week after security pat you down. Last thing for you. John Calipari's heading back to Rupp. Arkansas will play Kentucky. And there's a lot of talk. Should Calipari be booed or not? Should you boo him? Shouldn't you not boo him? What are your thoughts on Calipari? Because, again, won a national championship, got the Final Fours. The end didn't go well, but if you were sitting in the stands at Rupp, what would you do before you got thrown out by security?
I would eat the Dippin' Dots at Rupp because they're awesome. This is different than Pitino when he came back in 2001, because Pitino left and went to the Celtics and flamed out. And then he decided, I'm going to go back to college. I'm going to go to Louisville. This is
I
different.
want to go
Cal,
to the hated Louisville, right?
Yeah, the rivalry that defines that state. Cal's deal is different. I mean, he could have – the end was near. Everybody wanted a separation. The school owed him a boatload of money, and he did him a solid favor by finding a way to, A, make a graceful exit, and B, get his money. So I cheer him, maybe. I think if you wanted to get even with him, and there's nothing to get even with him about. I mean, 4 Final Fours in 5 years, a national title in 2012. Yeah, the end wasn't great the last 4 years, but if you wanted to, quote unquote, get even with him, you just don't really do anything. He doesn't deserve being booed. I just don't see the point.
I'm with you on that one. I mean, why you boo him? What did he do? I mean, you're right. He did
What are you
just
doing?
solid by leaving the way he did. Why are you booing
He
him?
did.
Yeah, I mean, he did. You got a banner hung with his era, like you said. You got the multiple Final Fours. Okay, he didn't recruit enough guys from the state of Kentucky to make you happy. Whatever. I hate to be mean. There are a lot of basketball players in the state of Kentucky that don't belong playing at Rupp. So
I agree.
I'm with you. Why boo him? It's like
And
whatever.
It's not like Billy Gillespie. It's not like Billy Gillespie, man. And,
No.
and look, they hired him at a time when that program could have gone south really quick because of what Billy Gillespie did. And Cal came in with his blueprint, and boom.
Yep. And by the way, we don't have time for it. There's a lot of great Billy Gillespie stories that can't be shared on the radio. All right, my friend.
Next week.
We'll get you
Next
back
week.
next
I
week.
got one. Next week.
Okay.
Okay, next
All right.
week. We'll have a good story. What's your Twitter handle? You got 10 seconds.
Scott Hamilton, PC. Please give me a follow, please. Please. That's my second one. The other one vanished.
And
please.
don't hack him. Don't hack him.
Yeah, do it real quick before he gets hacked. All right, Scott Hamilton,
Please.
Post and Courier. Always love hanging out with you, boss. Yeah, Ed Bird,
You're
please
the man.
turn him down before he says something to get us fined by the FCC. No, you're the man, Scott Hamilton. All right, the greatest day in the history of the world is next here on the Halftime Show, live from Pro Swing, as we continue on with the Winter Golf Classic on the Halftime Show here on The Game.
From the Midlands to the PD to the beach.
The Game Network.
We all love streaking. I mean, streaming until we have to pay for it. But not when you stream the game.
And how much does it cost?
It's free. Just go to iTunes or Google Play and download the 107.5 The Game app and stream for no charge and listen for no charge.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply or play stopped, opt out.
Your garage door could be a ticking time bomb. Seriously, did you know 20 to 30,000 garage door accidents happen every year in the U.S.? How does that even happen? Well, your garage door has 20 or more working parts and opens and closes 1,500 times a year. That's a lot of wear and tear. Don't wait until something breaks and you get stuck. Text TECH to 323232 right now for your ProCheck multi-point inspection only from OGD Overhead Garage Door. With thousands of 5-star Google reviews, OGD is the garage door expert in Columbia. OGD is available 24/7 to help you with same-day service. So if your garage door is broken, stuck, slow, or squeaky, text OGD, the only name you need for your garage door. Text TECH to 323232 right now and get an exclusive link to special limited time savings. Text the word TECH to 323232 now. Text TECH to 323232.
What's up, Gamecocks? Ben Cato, third generation owner of Cato's Power Equipment. We have an exciting new solution for those of you who have retention ponds, large hills, or overgrown land that needs clearing. Now available at Cato's Power Equipment, the all-new Gravely Ovis RC40 is a remote control, track-driven flail mower with a uniquely low center of gravity that makes easy work of hillsides and large brush. Whether you're interested in renting or purchasing, come schedule your free demo today at Cato's Power Equipment.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
10 years ago, who could have predicted what the internet would bring? Streaming videos, voice assistants, smartphones, smart homes, work from home. But here we are, wondering what the next 10 years will bring. Whatever it brings, Lumos 100% fiber optic internet is ready with incredible speeds and reliability. So you can do more and be more than you ever thought possible on the internet built for the future. See your future at lumosfiber.com/future.
As of 9 a.m. this morning, our EV trucking company is officially in operation.
Andrew's zero-emission trucks are driving the transportation category forward.
We'll make driving safer, easier, and less stressful. Now our technology needs to keep up with demand.
He needs to put pedal to the metal on hiring more software engineers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a walk-up with central air and a skylight, and you found it. Now, every Friday night, you get to fall asleep to the sound of your downstairs neighbors' dance parties. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Kickstart your day at 9 a.m. with your Carolina Pick-Me-Up, sponsored by South Carolina's largest injury law firm, George Sink Injury Lawyers. If you're injured, call all nines today.
Get George Sink Law Firm on the line. Call 999-999.
The Halftime Show, sponsored by the Men's Clinic of South Carolina.
The greatest day in the history of the world on The Halftime Show.
It's time to check out the greatest day in the history of the world, which today is January 31st.
That's right.
This one's interesting to start with, and it's got a cool little story, as we like to go old school.
Yep.
And by the way, we are hanging here live at Pro Swing Golf as we are in day 2 of the Pro Swing 107.5 The Game inaugural Winter Golf Classic. Right now, 8 under is the leader in the clubhouse. There are spots between now and 5 o'clock today and before 1 tomorrow. So there are some spots left to try to beat that 8 under. And if you do, you'd bag yourself $1,000 for first place.
Yep.
All right. This day in 1950, a high school pitcher named Paul Pettit signs with the Pittsburgh Pirates for a then record $100,000. To do so, the Pirates have to purchase his contract from a film producer who signed Pettit to an exclusive contract as an actor/athlete. You're saying, Terry, who in the bleep is Paul Pettit? All right, Paul Pettit, as an amateur, threw 6 no-hitters, 3 in a row. Here's his nickname. His nickname was the Wizard of Whiff. Paul Pettit.
That's a cool nickname.
Paul Pettit struck out 945 batters in 549 innings. That's a lot of batters. In a 12-inning high school game, Paul Pettit struck out 27 hitters. There's 36 outs in a 12-inning game, 27 of them by strikeout.
By the way, how bad was that team's offense?
They had to
if they had to play extras and he was striking them out of that high of a clip.
Yeah, his team could not score runs either. There were no help. All right, 1949, a movie producer named Frederick Stefani was looking to make a baseball movie but couldn't afford the story of an established star. Instead, Stefani scouted high school athletes with major league prospects, eventually signed Pettit for $85,000 to an exclusive rights contract. Like we just talked about in the greatest day of the history of the world, Pettit in 1950 was signed by the Pirates, who bought the contract from Stefani, threw an additional $15,000, $100,000. He was the first 6-figure, they used to call them bonus babies back in the day.
Ah.
So you're saying, how did this guy's major league career go? Well, here's how his major league career went. Well, his MLB stats, his won-loss record was 1-2. His earned run average was 7.34.
Wow.
Yes. He started his career in New Orleans in 1950. He got up to the Pirates in 51. He pitched 2 2/3 innings with a 3.38 ERA. They said he had an arm injury, and that's what happened. So he came back up again in 53 in 28 innings, pitched with an ERA of 7.71. Sorry, 1954, more arm troubles made it. There was a problem with the arm. Pettit was eventually forced to give up pitching. So the Wizard of Whiff didn't do a whole lot in his career.
So he's the perfect embodiment of, if I hadn't hurt my arm, then
How good I would have been.
Exactly.
I struck out 27 hitters in a high school game, dude. That guy. So 1950, Paul Pettit signed his contract.
By the way, how fast do you think he was throwing back then?
127 miles an hour.
I highly doubt it.
No, he's probably throwing. They said Bob Feller was throwing about 100. But back then they did it.
That was very rare.
I guess they started a car, ran 100 miles an hour, and then Feller threw it or something crazy. Right?
I was going to say, and they certainly weren't throwing that every pitch. Now that's, if you're under 100, by pitch 80, you got a problem.
Right. I think this guy was probably throwing 90s.
Yeah, probably. And for the time, that was
crazy.
heat. Now that's off speed.
That made you the Wizard of Whiff.
I guess so. I just wish he played on a team with better offense.
It's terrible. All right, this day in 1988, the Denver Broncos got up 10-0 in the Super Bowl on Washington. And then the Redskins scored 35 unanswered points in the second quarter, and they whooped Denver 42-10. The MVP was Doug Williams, threw off for 4 scores and 340 yards. Because that was such the story of that game, what people forget is a guy named Timmy Smith ran for 204 yards.
Mm-hmm.
I believe is still the NFL record for rushing yards in a Super Bowl. And it's held by an anonymous guy named Timmy Smith.
Well, Saquon, you have your challenge ahead of you on Sunday, next Sunday.
Also, a Super Bowl champion this day in 1993, the Dallas Cowboys whooped the Buffalo Bills 52-17. That was the Bills' 3rd straight loss in the Super Bowl. And of course, Buffalo said, you know what? Hold our beer. We'll make it 4 in a row. And then Buffalo lost again to Dallas the following season. 1998, Martina Hingis at age 17 becomes the youngest player in the Open era to defend a Grand Slam title as she captured her 2nd consecutive Australian Open championship. Now, we talk about Denver getting whooped a lot in the early days of John Elway's Super Bowl career.
Yep.
Well, Elway got his second straight ring on this day in 1999. Denver won 34-19. Know the beat?
I think it was the Falcons.
Your boys.
By the way, trivia question. Do you know what famous animated sitcom debuted after that game on Fox?
Simpsons.
No. Simpsons has been around since the
How
80s.
about Futurama?
No.
Not Family Guy.
Family Guy.
Was it Family Guy?
Family Guy debuted after that Super Bowl on January 31st, 1999.
My love for Family Guy. I love Family. I love
The-
The Simpsons too. I love Family Guy.
The early seasons of Family Guy.
Oh yeah, the first
I
3, 4.
I have not watched a new episode of Family Guy in probably about 10 years, but those first couple seasons, legendary.
You know what I do? I'll catch reruns on TV and watch
Oh, it's
them.
great.
I
You
love.
can-
I love.
I think you can stream them on Hulu or something like that now.
I tell you what, Family Guy. Obviously, the first 2 or 3 seasons of South Park were legendary.
Have you gotten on American Dad?
And no, I haven't really watched American Dad.
Made by Seth MacFarlane too. It's
Uh-huh.
better than Family Guy.
No.
I love American
Really?
Dad. Check it out if you got
Okay.
time.
I tell you the one. You know what I like, and I've only watched the first 2 seasons. Big Mouth.
I've heard about Big Mouth. Heard it's very it pushes the limits that you couldn't push in live action.
Yes. Big Mouth, I was just going to say this, and we're going to stop here at this. They have a character called the Hormone Monster.
Because it's about teenagers, right?
It's about middle school.
Oh.
When you're first hitting that
Well,
awkward
well,
area of
that
life.
That makes perfect sense.
There's a male hormone monster and a female hormone monster.
I get
And
the gist. I get the gist.
We'll just
It's from
watch
the,
it.
it's from the mind of Nick Kroll, so I kind
It's-
of know which way it's
I'm not
going
going
to
to
go.
lie. The first season, I laughed out loud.
I may have to check that out.
It was
But,
something.
hey, American Dad, if you got time.
All right. I'll take your word for it and give that a shot. I will give that a shot. Last one here. This is interesting. In 2015, Lydia Ko, who at the age of 17, becomes the youngest golfer, male or female, to be ranked number 1. She shares second place at the LPGA Tour season opener, and that pushed her up into very high air. 17 years old, number 1 in the world.
What did you accomplish by age 17, Terry?
What did I accomplish by age 17?
Yeah.
I could do a keg stand.
That's not LPGA level.
Think about that for a minute. To achieve that kind of level of success,
yeah,
at an age where you have no clue, no idea, no real life experience, no real maturity of being a grown-up or an adult, and there's a good chance your life had peaked at 17.
Yeah. That's insane to think about.
It is. And to be, like I said, at 17, and I was kidding about the keg stand, well, really not. I did swim in a few garbage cans of grain alcohol punch, but it's just the idea that think about the thing us regular kids were doing at 17.
Sure.
Whether you're doing the goofy stuff I was doing, or you're just playing video games, or you're just whatever you're doing in your neighborhood at 17.
You think being a responsible adult is way off in the distance.
You don't want to be. You know what I'm saying? You're
Yeah.
like, I only part of that. I'm 17, man.
And people like this are accomplishing more at that age than you'll accomplish in your entire life.
Yeah, and at 17, she was number 1 in the world. Now, again, you know, that was 2015. She's now 27 years old.
Yep.
And when you look at her accomplishments, you know, she's won 22 LPGA Tour events. She has won Ladies European Tour, won 8 events, and Korea events. So she has won and won through her career. It's not like, you know, at age 17, that was it.
Yeah.
No, she has been successful on the tour.
Yep.
As the years have gone on. But maybe, just maybe, that was, like, I'm looking at it now as you go through and these last so many years, you know, she did win a title in 2024. So it's not like it's been over.
Yep.
But at 17, think about that for a minute.
I know. It's insane.
Craziness. And then to be able to handle it. And now here she is at 24, still moving along with her career at some level.
That's right.
All right. Firehouse Sub Taxi Hour is next. 803-404-6100. We are here at Pro Swing Golf in Columbia on Forest Drive. The 107.5 The Game Pro Swing inaugural Winter Golf Classic. 8 under. Still the leader in the clubhouse as we chug through day 2 and get you ready for day 3. Post-game show also coming up top of the hour right here on The Game in Columbia, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
107.5 The Game.
In Columbia.
100.5 The Game.
In Florence.
100.3 The Game.
In Myrtle Beach. The Game Network. Here's what's coming up on the game.
The Schroeder's Towing Roadshow rolls on to Pro Swing Golf, 4708 Forest Drive in Columbia, this Thursday and Friday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Broadcasting live from the first annual Pro Swing Golf Classic.
Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
This is Andrew Perloff with a Sports Minute. The Eagles' Brandon Graham has a chance to become one of the most unlikely Super Bowl heroes in NFL history. He tore his triceps in November. It was supposed to be done for the season, but the 36-year-old pass rusher is back at practice. We've seen him step up in Super Bowls before, famously strip-sacking Tom Brady back in 2018. If he's out there and makes a big play, he will instantly become an all-time legend. I'm Andrew Perloff.
Old Spice Swagger Body Wash will make you the MVP of freshness and confidence. With its irresistible scent, it will transform your shower experience, leaving you feeling fresh on and off the field. Pair it with Old Spice Swagger Deodorant, the #1 aluminum-free brand that keeps you feeling like a Super Bowl champion 24/7 when used daily. But don't wait. This dynamic duo is available at Costco for a limited time only. Old Spice, official deodorant partner of the NFL and Super Bowl 59, where freshness meets football greatness.
Lowe's knows how to help make your Super Bowl 59 party a touchdown. Let us help you prep your home to host with top brands like Charbroil, Blackstone, and LG, so you can be the MVP of game day. Plus, use the Lowe's app to find what you need for a seamless shopping run. Or huddle up with our Lowe's Red Vest associates to help make all your game time hosting decisions.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
William is one of millions of Americans who uses GoodRx to save on the cost of their prescriptions.
My oldest daughter, Camilla, 2 days old, she had to have open heart surgery. All of a sudden, she's on 5 different medications. It adds up at the end of the month. Me and the pharmacist got so tight. She said, GoodRx, save you a lot of money. Saving that extra $200-300 a month. We're able to do all these extra activities, so it puts less stress on our household, and it puts less stress on our pockets.
Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com and start saving today. GoodRx user compensated for their time. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9318. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9318. That's 800-575-9318. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The Halftime Show, sponsored by the Men's Clinic of South Carolina.
It's time for Text of the Hour on the Firehouse Subs text line on the Halftime Show.
On your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
And the 107.5 The Game app.
All righty, time to get our Firehouse Sub text of the hour at 803-404-6100. Halftime show. Terry Ford, Tyler, Elijah Campbell. We're here being entertained watching Jay Phillips swing a golf club.
Well, he's going to be soaked by the time the show starts.
He is.
Wow.
Jay, I can already see the sweat stains
Hey,
from here.
Jay, I don't know much about golf. Is a 200-foot drive good?
This is 215.
215 foot. 215 feet's good, right?
By the way, he's not wearing proper golf attire.
No, he's not.
He's just gripping and ripping in that button down.
I tell you, man.
There you
Look
go.
at, I do like he has a
Oh, there
follow.
we
You
go.
know what's
There you
funny?
go.
He has the follow through like he's a real golfer. I love the follow through. He has the golfer follow.
See, you could tell Jay's actually played like some.
Oh no,
golf
the rest of
before.
the swing's a wreck, but the follow through is fantastic.
See, I get there and I'm just hacking, man. I am swinging out my shoes.
You know
I'm
what?
trying to work up a sweat.
You know, my thing is I swing it like a baseball bat.
I said he was like, you're like Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, I'm Happy Gilmore, or I swing it like
there we
nunchucks.
go.
Is that wrong?
That's 200 plus right there,
There
too.
you go.
That's
Look
pretty
at
good.
that guy. Look
little,
at that
little,
guy.
little to the left, but
Look
not
at
bad.
that guy. He's doing all right. Even his little approach thing there looks like he knows what he's doing too. It's okay. And then he swings. All right, Firehouse Sub text the hour 803-404-6100. What do we have? We'd be mesmerized by Jay the whole segment.
Going back to our conversation with Scott a little bit earlier, Nameless Texter did ask, would SMU have gotten that money from the playoff, even though they're foregoing the ACC money? Which I would assume so, because
That's
that was
separate.
that was earned separately
Yes.
by making the playoff.
Yeah, their money doesn't come
But-
from the TV deal.
Right.
Yeah,
but-
they don't. They were paying voluntarily to be there,
Right.
in the ACC.
So that money, I'm guessing, we can double check it, but I believe that's separate money brought in by your performance. That's not TV money.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit different. Which, by the way, I was thinking about this the other day because I just went down a rabbit hole. I wonder if the Clark family, or the Hunt family with the Chiefs, I wonder if they're high level donors at SMU, because
Mhm.
the Lamar went there.
Mhm.
The son, whatever his name is now,
Clark.
yeah,
Clark Hunt.
Clark Hunt. That's right. He went there.
Mhm.
I wonder how much they
Oh, yeah,
help
they
out
do.
SMU and assisted in that move to the ACC.
Think about the money.
Hmm.
Think about the loot you have surrounding that university.
Oh,
where
totally.
you get together and everybody goes, "We'll cut the check."
It's just like
matter
we
where it
naturally
is.
just assume every university in Texas has a big oil tycoon tied to it some
No.
kind of way. And it's actually kind of true. I mean, look at Texas Tech. All they're compiling, we know about Texas, we know about A&M.
Mhm.
Now
And
SMU.
you got SMU. I mean, that whole and Baylor's got money.
Yep.
Baylor's got money. Make no mistake. That's a very they have a lot. I mean, obviously it's a religious school, a private school that has a ton of dough. Believe me.
Chip and Joanna Gaines money.
Yeah, they have
That's
a
right.
lot of money at all those schools. So yeah, SMU just you cut the check to go. And the funniest thing is, who wins the regular season title in the ACC? The team that's writing the check to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All-time
It
bet
helps.
on yourself moment, right? Like you're
Mhm.
missing out on like the actual TV contract money, but it's like, hey, we, get in this conference championship game, there's a good chance that we can get to the college
It's
football
like this,
playoff and then get the playoff money.
You won't let us in. We'll
but-
pay you to let us in,
but-
and we'll whoop you.
By the way, how
love that.
How hilarious would it be if in a couple years, let's say you're allowed to get out of the ACC, and the Big Ten comes calling, not Clemson, not Florida State, they bring in SMU and get the Dallas market.
Well, right. I was going to say Dallas is it's a top 10 market.
That
You
would make
get
a lot of
Dallas,
sense.
And yes, even though SMU is the third favorite college football team in the city of Dallas, probably behind Texas and Texas A&M.
Probably.
Nobody cares.
No.
Nobody cares, man.
Another wild thing about the levels to this in terms of college football, like I mean,
Mhm.
SMU's got a lot of crazy rich donors that will just vomit money into that
Mhm.
athletic department, and at the end of the day, they're still paying the head coach like $1 million plus dollars less than Penn State is paying a defensive coordinator.
Mhm.
Oh,
Sure.
I'm sure
Which is
that's going to
wild.
change in the next couple
Well,
of years. but
that'll just if
they're-
Lashley
they-
keeps going.
They still have the
wanna
payroll
keep
of
them.
an AAC team
Right, that's
now
what I was
that they
gonna
are in
say.
the ACC.
Right. I mean, they're paying people a group of $5.
Yeah, it's
That's
just
gonna change.
he's still in his rookie deal, basically.
yeah, put
It
it this
still
way.
made it to
Yeah,
the playoff.
Still made it to the playoff.
But we all know this: if they keep being this successful, first of all,
But-
SMU's got the money, but
Kevin Jings just threw another interception, by the way.
it's awful. Kevin, throw it to the guys in the SMU jersey.
Kevin, we're wearing our road whites today. Road whites.
Trust me, Lashley will get paid by
Oh,
someone.
he will.
if he
Oh,
keeps it
yeah.
going.
I'm
before I
surprised that
forget,
hasn't happened already.
Speaking of vomiting, I saw that Dan Orlovsky video of him eating a Reese cup.
Disgusting.
I couldn't get through it. I saw how Ryan Clark described it and was like, I will not watch this video.
But well, Tyler put it up to where I could see it, and it is vile.
Just buy peanut butter and
That's
eat it out of
what
the
Tyler
jar,
said.
dog.
Tyler's like,
bro,
just buy
you-
peanut butter.
You're
dude.
making a mess. You like 60% of a Reese cup is chocolate, right? You're
Mhm.
wasting 60% of the candy.
You're
What is
wasting
that?
a good
That's
Reese
wasting
cup.
money.
That is worse than running out of the back of your own end zone.
Yes. Oh, it absolutely is. So this is more egregious. Or the
was
one time that he
awful. You know
said, he's like, how many uses of a bath towel do you get before you wash it? Mine's like 35, 40. And I'm like, that's Like,
use your connection to
What are you doing?
Langston through Langston to straighten him out.
Somebody's
he needs
got
it.
to.
He needs it.
Langston need to pay him a visit.
That was disgusting.
Because that's foul.
Yes.
That was disgusting.
That should be a
Absolutely.
felony.
All right, post-game show coming up. Jay and Elijah. Well, Jay might play. It might be you because Jay might just be playing golf. Tyler, good job. Good job, Dave. Ed, halftime show. Enjoy your weekend.
1075 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Hearn